Super annoying. Super annoying. Super annoying. That's what that is. That's very annoying. OBS just OBS'd it. OBS just be OBS sometimes. It just, you know, OBS be OBSing. That's what happened there. Hi friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. I cannot tell you how annoying it is to have to say this all again. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Sim Sunday. Blah, 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 blah. OBS, man, come on. I streamed 4 days ago. All was fine. Just for funsies, it's just like, nah, bro. I'm gonna just delete your microphone. For no reason. No reason. I'm gonna just delete it. Just to make sure you're on your toes. I need to make... Can I make the audio mixer? Can I, like, pop out the audio mixer and make it, like, the size of the entire screen? I can. I can do that. I need to, like leave... I wish I could make this vertical. Is there a way to... There's not a way to make this vertical, I don't think. Advanced audio properties. Yeah, no. I wish there was a way to make this volume meter... Oh! 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 You are watching... You tuned in just in time for unbridled computer genius. I clicked the button. So this is cool. I'm gonna have to leave this full screen over here. It's still not gonna matter, but you know, it's worth a shot. I'm gonna make this full screen over here, and maybe, just maybe, I'll notice it next time that there's no audio. I won't. It's worth a shot. We're gonna do a whole bunch of different stuff today. We are going to move this camera. So that's a service I provide free of charge. At the beginning of the live stream, I played some flight footage from the Tiny Lifter, not this one, but the other one, at this little RC Drifts event thing that happens every Thursday, which is just a ton of fun. RC Drift cars are more popular than drones, so you'll probably be able to find a group of folks like these guys that that do this once a week, once a month, or whatever. And you should message them and be like, yo, my buddy started chasing RC Drift cars. here's an example of one of his thingies doing that on Instagram. I would love to come out and chase you guys around. And then they'll click on that thing, they'll see this shit and be like, oh my god, I've never seen my little RC drift car look so cool. I want this person to come out. And they'll be like, oh my god, you should come out and do this. There's no way in hell I'm gonna pay you. Because I ain't got no money either. But you should just come do it for fun. And then you should go do that. It's very, very fun. This doesn't have... me any soldering questions you've got, and or I'll just show you a couple of like the really basic fundamental things with soldering that will make your life so much easier. If you're not a 10 out of 10 when it comes to soldering, I can get you to like a 9 out of 10 with like 4 or 5 pretty simple things. Flux, like the way that the heat transfers, and like how to tin wires, and just some basics surrounding that. How to hold the soldering iron. Yeah, there's a couple of really basic things that will just immeasurably improve your soldering that don't cost any money. So stick around for that. We'll talk through that, and if you have any soldering questions, just hold on to them until we start doing that, and then get your @CiottiFPV ready, fingers ready in chat. We're gonna do a little bit of simming in Velocidrone in the new freestyle pack with virtual drift cars, and we're gonna play around with really low up tilt. Gaver, who in my opinion is the best chase pilot on earth, I recently found out he runs, the reason why his style and his chasing footage looks so insane is that he flies very low up tilt. And after building this to chase these little RC drift cars with very low up tilt, I get it. I really do understand why that changes it just changes the way that the footage, it changes your ability to maintain proximity to the car. And so yeah, I want to try it out in the sim. I've already played around with it a little bit at these events, but man, like chasing these little RC drift cars is absurdly difficult. Like you're trying to fly a half an inch off the ground, and with TinyWhoops, with any rig that's not like completely dialed in, that's really difficult. And like we've dialed the TinyWhoops in pretty good, but they're still nowhere near as dialed in as 5-inch rigs. Hey, I got look at this. This is just like a proof of concept right now, but I've got a different lighting setup going on. Do you notice? I'm sure you might have noticed. I've got a little controller that interfaces with Magic Home, the program that all the lights in the basement are on here. I've got a controller for LED strips now. So I'm going to be putting an LED strip back there behind those shelves. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of start messing around with it. So that's blue. That still looks purple, right? But then if I start shifting it over towards pink, now it starts to look kind of pink. I gotta find the right color temperature here. I think it's somewhere in between there. I think it's right around there. Yeah, that's cool because I have to have a lot less lights on, basically, in order to have some color on the background so that it looks kind of cool. So there's like this. I don't have to run this purple lamp. Wow, that does almost nothing. Hold on, let's see. Let me turn it off. You can always tell when you turn shit off. It does a little bit. Not a lot. It does a little bit though. I kind of like that one on. I'm gonna leave that one on, and then I have this. I usually run this red bulb here. That does a little something too. Okay, I like that. And then there's this guy. There's this guy as well that shoots over there. And yeah, he's red. Wait, no. Let me walk forward here. Yeah, you can see it when it cycles between the channels. So there's this guy, and he does a little bit too. Ooh, I like what he does. I'm gonna leave him on. I don't know why it's a he. Everybody calls things she. I buck the system by calling things he. Because I'm an idiot. Look at this adorable little guy. Look at this adorable little son of a bitch. I mean, it doesn't fly great, but woo boy, is it adorable. The Chubeeto. Chub, because it's heavy. It's much heavier than a 65mm TinyWhoop. And that kind of dominates the flight experience. Like, wow, this is really heavy. I really prefer the way the regular TinyWhoops fly because they just have so much of a better power to weight ratio. So yeah, Chubeeto, chub because it's chubby. BEE because it has all Nubiedrone parts, Nubiedrone AIO, Nubiedrone 0802 27,000 kV motors, Nubiedrone BI camera, and then tow because it's the Bubito frame. So yeah, this is the Chubeeto. It's just the most adorable little build ever, which might be enough for me to actually keep this put together. If I'm completely honest, like everybody that I've shown this to has just gone like, hey, little guy, and like, you know, ain't nothing wrong with that. I have the AIO, I have the motors. Ain't nothing wrong with having an adorable rig. Fly it once or twice. I don't know. I will say this: if you're gonna do a Chubeeto build, try to make it less chub and more bub. I don't know. Was that a good one? Yeah. So these are the Nubiedrone. So if I was going to really put a serious, so with how heavy this build is, thank you CiottiFPV for the super chat. Sorry for burping. I will read the schlip slap in a second. Yeah, try to get the weight down. You're never gonna get the weight down to where it is with a TinyWhoop. But yeah, my recommendations for a really good flying Bubito build are going to be the Happy Model F4 AIO, the one that we run on all of our stuff and we talk about all the time, right? It's the AIO that comes with the Mobula 6 ELRS, all right? So that AIO is going to be a fraction of a gram lighter than this one. I don't know what to recommend for the camera, to be honest. Yeah, I really don't. Look up other Bubito builds and see what cameras they're running, and that's probably fine. For motors, I'm very torn on motors, because I guess I'm not torn on motors, and here's why. This does not have any prop guard protection, so this is going to be incredibly hard on motors. So I think the motors that you really need, oh no, but there's not. There are no. I was gonna recommend an 802 with a 1.5mm shaft, but they're not gonna give you enough power. So okay, sorry. The motors that you want on this build are going to be the highest kV 702s that you can find. Maybe. God damn it. The problem with that is, you're going to have to run biblades on the 802s, 702s rather. And the problem with biblades is that, and these are tri-blades, so it's hard to show you, but here we go. The problem with biblades is, imagine this guard isn't here. When you crash, the biblade is going to just rotate, and then the motor bell is going to be the thing that slams into the ground. We bleed FPV with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Zotek. I will read your chat comment in a second. So yeah, with bi-blade propellers, you go through a lot of motors because every single time you crash inverted, typically there will be a propeller blade coming around, and that's going to hit first, but then that's just going to move out of the way, and the motor bell is going to slam the concrete. And without prop guards, there's nothing to protect that from happening, right? So for the best, here's what I'll say. For the best possible performing Bubito, you want a 702 32,000 kV or 30,000 kV motor, and you're going to put it on Gemfan bi-blades, and you're going to try your damnedest not to crash it into any hard surfaces. That setup, crashing into grass, is going to be fine. You're going to lose it, and you're never going to find it again because it's this small, and it's going to be in the grass, and the ESC beeper on these tiny little motors is not loud at all. Brian Chambers, thanks for the subscription, brother. But yeah, so that's your ultimate performing Bubito. For one of these that you're actually going to crash, you need to go with an 802 so that you can run a tri-blade. And there are... oh, okay, yeah, so it's an easy decision. It's the TinyWhoop EX 80. I'm sorry, Hex HEX 0802 30,000 kV. It's this motor right here, actually. That's what you want. It's going to give you enough power with the 802 stator size to crank tri-blades. You're going to want to run a set of tri-blades. My favorites are these Gemfan 1208. They're Gemfan's new small tri-blade. And yeah, still try not to crash it. But what's great about tri-blades is there's always a blade. This is the same thing with all of our freestyle rigs. With tri-blades, the blades are always going to take the hit first when you crash inverted. So there's always going to be 2 points of plastic that are going to bend and absorb some of the initial shock of this thing slamming into hard objects. And it makes a bigger difference than you could possibly imagine. So yeah, there's some recommendations for Bubito builds. If I'm completely honest, when it comes to non-ducted builds, I kind of think that you should wait for like 3 inches. I think 3-inch toothpicks are the best starting point for builds that don't have prop guards or ducts, right? Like a TinyWhoop. Mainly because the the flight characteristics are way better. It's just as safe, and you can actually like do stuff outside with it. You know, like no prop guards in the house, you're gonna break all your stuff. Like, and unless you're one of the best pilots on Earth, like Bubby, it's gonna be incredibly difficult for you to fly. As we'll see here in a little bit, I am gonna fly. I have a whole bunch of TinyWhoop batteries charged, so we are gonna fly a little bit on the stream, and I am gonna fly this little guy to kind of show you that. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts there. If a 3-inch toothpick is too big and too fast for you, I would recommend going down to like a 2-inch toothpick. That 2-inch 1S is gonna give you a ton more range, not range as in like video range, but range as in like options when you're flying outside. This little thing, like and it's not just this Bubito, all of these little tiny 1.2 inch, 1.6 inch builds, when you fly them outside, they just don't have enough power. They don't have enough speed. They can't cover ground enough. They just feel like kind of handcuffed. And getting up to a 2-inch propeller is going to really help that, because it's going to make so much more thrust, and it's going to be so much more efficient than these itty-bitty little propellers. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on there. But we will fly this thing around, and like I said, it is absolutely the most adorable little rig that you'll ever build. And it's not an expensive build either, right? Like, this is like $130, $120 build. So, nothing wrong with that. You can now, and the newbie drone parts transfer right over. I did this build from scratch with no pre-planning on this last Wednesday's live stream. So you can see me like rotating the flight controller and like trying different options and whatnot. But yeah, you can buy a Nubiedrone Acro B BLV4 in either ELRS, Crossfire, or Ghost, and just transfer it straight into this. The 802 27,000 motors are actually like way better than I thought. And the Nubiedrone BI camera goes right in here. So this is a really cool little platform to swap an Acro B into and get this non-ducted experience. I do not regret it at all. This was a super interesting little build, and yeah, we'll fly it around a little bit. That's about it. I think those are the things that I want to go through today. Hey, this is my full-time job. If you like these live streams, I need your help. Do a little something. Do anything. Click the thumbs up button. There's some free stuff that you can do. Head on over here to CiottiFPV.com and bookmark a bunch of my affiliate links, so that when you hit your We Bleed FPV bookmark, it drives to my affiliate link. Yeah, these affiliate links are all free of charge. If you click someone's affiliate link before you check out, at any point before you check out on a website, you can, that person, that content creator, will get a small percentage of your total order as a thank you for the referral. I have them to We Bleed FPV, Nubiedrone FPV Cycle, Amazon, Get FPV, Oh My God, Hdzero, Flywoo, Emax, Banggood, Camera Butter, and AliExpress. So yeah, if you replace your bookmarks to these websites with someone's affiliate links, then you don't have to like always go to that person's website and try to remember before you check out to hit their affiliate link. You're going to click your bookmark, it's going to drop their code into your cart, you're going to add shit to your cart, you're going to check out, and you're going to help out a content creator that's probably struggling to survive, because it's tough to make money on YouTube. If you have a couple extra dollars, and I mean, you probably do if you're into FPV, it's not a free hobby, it's not super expensive, but it takes some money. If you have a couple extra dollars, that would help me out the absolute most. Patreon is the best way to kind of show your support, and you get the most stuff, basically, for joining my Patreon. There are a couple of Facebook groups, there's a Discord, where all the really cool people in this chat hang out. There is a YouTube playlist that you're going to get access to with like almost 90, or it might be over 90, unreleased edits, half-done edits, sketchy flying, I don't want to be public, Patreon-only live streams I've done in the past, all kinds of cool stuff there. And you'll get the undying love of the gangliest bastard on YouTube. There's also an Etsy store with some stickers and hardware that you can buy to support me. Buy yourself something nice and support your buddy. There's a Fiverr page where you can work one-on-one with me. Let me help you build better, fly better, tune better. And then over on Teespring, there's some fun shirts like the one that I have on right now. We call each other the Gangly Gang nowadays, but we used to call ourselves the Collective, because that's, you know, that's kind of what I envisioned from day one. Like, let's all get together and share all of the micro knowledge that we've got, and just all of the FPV knowledge in general that we've got, so that we can all be smarter and build stuff that flies better and all that good stuff. So, yeah. And then, of course, there's a PayPal button if you want to do, you know, just send direct support, but you don't want to do a super chat because you don't like YouTube and Google taking 30% of your money. I'm fine with it because they give me this awesome platform to stream on. But, yeah, it's on you. I got different ways for you to support without supporting people you don't want to support. How many times can we say support? Support, support, support. Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper typed, "Good evening, support FPV. What up? Hello, Gangly Gang. How's everyone supporting?" Bob Bruce says, CiottiFPV, how's it going? Support and Gangly Gang support. Rockcrawler says, what's up, CiottiFPV and everyone? Support. Justin the Guy says, howdy, Ciotti support and gang. Morton Upshot says, hey, CiottiFPV, stop saying the word support. Are the drift cars FPV or line of support? They are line of support. They are L.O.S. The cars have so much, they drift at so steep of an angle that if it was an FPV cam, they would be traveling this direction and the FPV would be looking out the windshield. Drivers, they would need to put a head tracker with a with a swivel in there to look out the side window. So yeah, maybe you could make the argument that like the TinyWhoop.com, what I've been calling the meme cam, their super wide angle pinch cam, there's a chance that might work, but I doubt it. I don't even think that thing's wide enough. And the other problem with that would be they would be like looking all the way to the side in their goggles to see where the hell they were going when they're in, like, they drift at like 50-60 degrees angle. It's kind of crazy. The Ref Pico, thanks for the subscription, yo. Nani FPV was the first one to tag me and say no audio. Thank you, guys. Marcel Off Axis, Freelojo, Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper, CH3 also tagging me for no audio. AJSR71 says no sound. We Bleed FPV says no sound. Thanks everybody. Mav Who, what's happening? Why is there a countdown? Stop counting down. Stop it. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Scrolling back up in chat, let me try to find my place real quick. 661 also tagging me a bunch. Oh, fuck me! Why? Oh, wait, no, it's working. Oh, desk... Oh, desk cam has no audio. Hold on. Wait, no, it does. It does. Does bench... doesn't have audio. Bench cam doesn't have audio. Oh my god, OBS, I'm gonna cut your fucking head off and eat it. Don't live stream for a living. Don't do it. Just don't. Just don't. You'll get so angry. How can I fix that? I can fix that by changing this. So this is zoom mic loud, and this is zoom mic quiet, and now this is also zoom mic loud. So basically, I just need to take zoom mic loud, because this will happen again. This is not the first time OBS has just for no reason deleted the audio source. Audio input capture, zoom mic quiet. Okay, so I need to add that, and I need to kill zoom mic loud and leave zoom mic quiet on, and then I need to do that here as well. Zoom mic loud and zoom mic quiet. Okay, and turn that off. All right, so that won't happen in the future. Sorry, guys. Wonder what I was saying when I had that cam on. Thanks for letting me know, friends. God damn it. Marcelo Faxis says you need your own Itzvalti. Don't we all? Freelojo says shitweed is making me deaf CiottiFPV or no sound when cam switch. License to drive. Thank you. Apache Smoke. Thank you. Expander. Thank you. CH3. Thank you. Rockcrawler. Oh my god, I was on that scene for a while. Oh my god. Michael D. Rockcrawler. Michael Kajaz. Okay. Fucking A, man. Morton Upchat says you should mask the LED strip so you don't see the pixels, but you still get the lighting you want. So this is completely proof of concept right now. I just laid the LEDs on the shelves just to see how much light gets up onto the purple paint. This is matte paint, and one of the things I didn't realize about matte paint is how much more light you have to hit it with in order for it to then bounce that light off. So yeah, it looks really cool in person. I don't necessarily know if the camera picks up how like striking the matte bright fuck off purple and red paint is. But yeah, I kind of after Patrick, Ken, and I got this all painted up, and I started throwing light at it. I was like, I'm just like, what? Like, I'm having to like add more lights than I'm used to, and like, what is happening? And then I pretty quickly realized it's because it's matte paint. So there's been like this ongoing kind of figuring out process to how much light I need to hit this paint with to get it to show up. And so yeah, with these LEDs, I just wanted to kind of see what a difference it would make, and my God, it makes a big difference. So what is going to happen, this little strip that I've got is not quite long enough. You can see over here, it actually ends. It runs down here, and then it stops under this. So I need to buy another LED light strip. But what I got from Amazon was the wall wart that I need, and then the little controller that interfaces with Magic Home on my phone, so that the LED strip is on the same software as all the other lights in here. And so yeah, these I'm gonna have to buy an LED strip that's longer than this one, and then I'm gonna put it on the back of the. I have the mounting strips. You guys don't care. It's gonna get put on the back so that you can't see it at all, and so that it's shooting directly at the paint. So yeah, all the individual pixels will disappear. I just have to, I'll have to do a run down. I'll have to do a run down here, and then I got a kit with like 90-degree angle stuff. So then I'll put a 90-degree over there, or I might not do a 90 over there because these are two separate shelves here. So what I'll actually probably do is just hand wire that, just solder in some wires there, so that I can make this 90-degree angle here. And then up here, I will do a 90. They make these really nice, like pre-made things for the strip lights. And then I'll run it all the way down, and I'll do another 90 over in that corner. And then I'm tempted to light the insides of these things. Like I'm tempted to do another run back this direction here on this strip, and then maybe one on another. This shelf is 4x4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, kind of farting around thinking of what to do. But yeah, this will be looking a little bit cooler sooner than later. So, and I'm happy with the amount of light that it throws out. So that's pretty cool. Basically what I'll be able to do is just throw red light at the red part of the wall. The LEDs will take care of the purple up there, over here, and over here. And then I'll be able to just switch. Just have a couple of red lights splashing across, and away we shall go. Ah! I didn't read off your guys' names. Sorry. I still do love you, though. Nani FPV says mute Gao again. Is mute Gao what you're calling mute Gao? Morton Upshot says Simon and Garfunkel on the desk cam. Sound meter is working great. Parts for bent toys. You know why the sound meter doesn't work? Look at this. Here's why the sound meter doesn't work, right? I remember this. I've tried this before. So here's my sound meter. All right, great. It's nice to have a sound meter if I can see it moving, unless I see it moving, but oh, it's gone. Oh, look, I clicked anywhere else, and OBS's sound meter just goes away. Great job, OBS. Great job, you goddamn donkeys. Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's nice. That I can get behind. That's a little bit better. And now when I click out, it doesn't go away. Cool. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. Good. I like that. All right, a little bit better. Baby steps. Baby steps. I'll figure this live stream thing out one day. Stick around. You'll get to watch me live, figuring it out live on live streams. Well, live. What was the word that I was trying to say a lot? It's an S word. License to Drive says you're gonna bang your head on the desk when you read this. No audio when on bench cam. 661 says no disc audio. Nani with a $2 super chat. No audio on bench cam, my dude. Thank you so much, Nani. Parts for Bento says, really funny, dude. Thank you. You're certainly welcome. We Bleed FPV with a $9.99 super chat. He says, read messages, no audio when you switch cams. Thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. How many people left? Nobody left. Look at that. Look at this. Look how fucking hardcore you guys are. This is probably audio going out, and this is probably audio going out. This might be it again. But that's very cool of you all to not just bail, as you probably should have. 69 viewers! Hey! Gross. Werewolf FPV says, can we go back to the bench cam? Oh boy. I put the I had my sometimes what I try to do is keep this window like here so I can see the chat. But this window was like that, so I just saw names. I didn't see the actual chat comments. That was a part of the problem. Part of the problem is that I was behind on chat. This is one of the biggest problems with being behind on chat all the time, is you don't get stuff timely. Hold on. What are you guys counting? 32, so close, 33, here we go, so close now. Here comes Epic Meltdown coming. You guys know me so well. God damn you. I'm serious. Don't live stream. I don't understand, yo. I don't understand why do the ones and zeros change when I'm not changing them? Stop changing things, live stream programs. My God. Nani FPV says you fixed it already. Morton Upshot says, hear you now on the bench. Carlos FPV says, are you doing Micro Mayhem this year? I am. You know what? I need to look the date up though. I say I am. But hold on. Let me just make sure. May 20th and 21st. I think I'm good. April, May 20th and 21st. I am pretty sure that I do not have any gig that weekend. And I even have it on my calendar. Look at the big brain on Brad. Okay, yeah, I'll be there. Here's what I'll say. I should be there. If I'll just be really honest, I do get paid to put on Micro Mayhem, but not much. And if I get like a gig that'll pay my actual day rate for that weekend, I kind of have to take it. Like, sorry, and I know that's kind of shitty, and it could be the end of me doing Micro Mayhem at Rampage, but it's too much money, and I just, yeah, I don't make much money doing this. So if in the next like 2 or so weeks a cinematic gig pops up, I will probably have to bail. But I'll try my best to not, and to be honest, it's been very, very slow, so I can't imagine that happening. But just in all honesty, yeah, I cannot say no to cinematic flying gigs. A, for the money, but B, because that's what I want to do full time, like, for the rest of my life. So, yeah, sometimes you got to make them sacrifices. But I can almost guarantee you that I'll be there, and I'm super, super, super looking forward to it. Mavhu says, what is the bigger TinyWhoop on your bench? This is the Tiny Lifter. I'm getting freaked out with the OBS window is very small, and I feel weird. This is the Tiny Lifter. This is a build that I've spent a ton of time and effort on to figure out the lightest and quietest and safest possible way to move an Insta360 Go 2 around. And this is it, man. I want to be able to take this 26-gram camera and put it anywhere. And that's gross. And I want to be able to do it like really safe and really quiet so that I can fly in like sketchy places like malls and shit and have people not like lose their minds. So yeah, that's what it is. It's basically just a Newbie Acro B V3. The V4 is having all kinds of problems with 2S. So yeah, it's an Acro B V3 AIO. It's the Newbie Flow 1102 10,000 kV motors. We're going to be talking about the propellers in a little bit here. It's 2S with a little BT 2.0 double plug. This way I can use my regular TinyWhoop batteries on it. I don't have to buy a whole separate set of 2S batteries for it. This mount is available on Thingiverse. It's TPU 3D printed. And yeah, Newbie Goober canopy. With the Acro B BLV3 board, in order to make it ELRS, I have to put an external ELRS receiver on it, so it's got a little EP2 with a ceramic antenna hanging out in there. And yeah, that's about it. And the footage at the me chasing the RC drift, I'll just put some of that footage on. Yeah, the footage at the beginning of the stream was shot with this. Oh yeah, I unplugged it. And now it's all jacked up. A lot of the me chasing RC drift cars footage on Instagram, not a lot of it, all of it I think, has been shot on this rig and this setup. It's incredible for what it is. It's really staggeringly good, and I've been having an absolute blast with it. Admittedly, like flying the little analog TinyWhoops, you can really get on their door and really do some absurd stuff. But it's analog, right? So it looks like hell. This thing is like really, really, really shockingly good quality. The only thing that is rough in this place is they don't have a lot of lights. Where the hell's the volume? There it is. Yeah, this is not very well lit over here in the corner that we're in at this place. And so, yeah, it struggles a little bit with noise. Like you can see in the dark areas, they're a little bit noisy. But we'll get that figured out. The one guy that builds this racetrack has these little LED street lights now, which are really cool. You can see over here, so they'll help a little bit. I think I want to take a couple. I have like an extra studio-ish light or two, and I think I might want to put that over here in the corner above. They have like a PA speaker over there. So yeah, we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna figure out how to get more light onto this. And I also want to ask the people that run it if they can turn up the intensity on these guys up on the top, these racetrack sculpture-y things on the, that's not sculptures, but racetrack lamps on the ceiling. If I don't think they can. It looks like those are cranked up all the way, but if they can turn them up a little bit more, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we'll figure it out. The other thing I can do is kind of lock the camera down to an ISO. I can like lock it to 400 ISO and force it to not go, because over 400 ISO is when cameras start to get noisy. Cameras, like action cameras with small sensors, I should say. Big censored cameras like DSLRs and, you know, big heavy fancy boys, they can go up into the thousands in the ISO before they get really noisy. But yeah, there's that. So that's what that rig is, and we're going to talk about the propellers on that rig in a little bit and swap them. Support is the word. Thank you, Morton Upshot, for the support on the word support. Michael D says, let's start a CiottiFPV needs a third monitor fund. I would need another desk. I really do not have room on this desk for a third monitor, to be honest. CH3 says, I actually have a third monitor, but But yeah, since there's nowhere on the desk to put it, it's just in the garage. I'm thinking about selling it. CH3FPV says, I have a QAV 2.5. All right, cool. Good question. Let me throw another one of these up real quick here. And QAV 2.5 inch micro. What is a QAV 2.5? Is that a thing? QAV 2.5? What? Hold on. Oh wait, is it the QAV Cinna CH3? Let me see. I have a QAV 2.5 inch micro whoop with 1406 4600s with a session 5 to be able to fly a Mini 11. 1507s would be too much. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's what you're gonna run into, CH3. So, hey, by the way, the L.O.S. Speaking of these little 2.5 inch rigs, the L.O.S. 2.5 is almost completely done. It's all bolted together. I haven't had it up in the air yet, but it is like pretty close to being done. Look at this cool little Immortal T and antenna setup that I've got going on. Isn't that neat? It's like a little spoiler, but it actually accomplishes something, like sending me video and receiving transmissions from my radio. And then this is the bottom. Yeah, pretty cool, right? When you're flying, it'll be the highest point. The antennas are the highest point, and I always kind of like that. Yeah, it's not the best for aerodynamics. When you're flying, it's going to create a little bit more drag, but the carbon down here was already going to create some of that drag, right? Technically speaking, putting it on the bottom would be best for efficiency and for drag, but this is best for maintaining a signal, and that's kind of the most important thing. So I'm really looking forward to getting this AOS 2.5 up in the air. But CH3 is asking about the QAV Cinna or QAV Pro, or I forget what they're calling it. I have the older version, the Freibot edition, with the fancy colored standoffs. And the main problem with this frame is that it's only drilled, or it's actually slotted, for 9x9 motors, which really reduces your options for what motors to run. This one has these discontinued, unfortunately, iFlight Zing 1504s on it. That the AOS has T-motor 1404 4600s. You've got 1406s on there? Who the hell makes a 1406 motor? Why have I not heard of a 1406 motor? Google can't find 1406 motors. What 1406 is kind of an interesting size. CH3, what the hell motor is that you've got? Who makes a 1406? The question is, to be able to fly a Mini 11, 1507s would be too much. 1507s would not be too much, but the 1404. Okay. The problem you're gonna have is none of the 1507s are drilled 9x9. The problem with this frame, and unbelievably, this one too, I can't believe Chris didn't put arms on this that are slotted for 9x9 or 12x12. But yeah, this is locked into 9x9 as well. So yeah, that really limits your motor selection. Anonymous says 1606. There is a T-motor 1606, but I'm not sure what. Beta FPV also has a 1606, but it's horrendously notchy. I'm sorry, T-motor doesn't have a 1606. They have a 1604, and that might be the move. I don't know any motors bigger than 1404 that are 9x9 mount. Well, that's not true. There's a 1207, but that's going to get too hot. T-motor 1604. What is the bolt pattern? It's almost certainly 12 by 12, but we'll take a quick look. I'm just looking over here on the side monitor. Oh, wow, it is 9 by 9. Holy hell, okay. So here's the other problem with this T-Motor 1604. It's KV. It's not going to have quite enough KV for you. But you can get around that with multi-bladed propellers. So Gemfan makes a 5-blade. I think HQ makes a 6-blade. Let me show you. T-Motor 1604 and 38, there it is, 3800 kV is the highest kV that you can get this 1604s in. So this is now the new king of 9x9. This is the biggest 9x9 mount motor that you're going to be able to find. 3800 kV is fairly low. I can tell you for certain that if you put that on a tri-blade 2.5-inch propeller, it's not going to pick up a 100+ gram. I mean, it might pick it up, but it ain't going to be good. It's not going to be a good flight experience with a tri-blade propeller. So you're going to come in here to 2.5-inch propellers, and you're going to get, ooh, okay, so you're going to get 3 different 2.5-inch propellers. You're going to get the HQ 8 blades, you're going to get the HQ 6 blades, and then you're going to get, oh, for shame, RDQ. You don't have the best of them, which is the Gemfan 5 blades. So you're going to go to GetFPV instead. Wait, hold on. Let's go back a couple times, see who else sells that pacer motor. This will be easier doing it this way. There it is on Pyrodrone. There it is on GetFPV. Okay, so whichever one of these places has these propellers, these guys probably have this in both KVs. Yep, there we go. All right, so there it is in 3800 kV. So you're going to snag these, and then you're going to come to, I think Pyrodrone has the 2.5s in the 2-inch section. Sort by 2.5. What the hell? What is happening? Why is nobody carrying the Gemfan 5-blade 2.5-inch propeller? Let's try one more time. Prop length 2.5 inches. Good Lord! What is the deal here? I know that the propeller exists. Who the hell sells it? Propellers. I bet you Newbie sells it. Goddamn right they do. I'm telling you guys, Newbie Drone selection is incredible. So yeah, this is the one that I think you're gonna like the best. The HQ props, the individual blades are really thin and they're really fragile, and like just taking the prop on and off, you got a really good chance of kind of bending one up, and then that's terrible for when you're doing cinematic stuff. This prop, just like the 3-inch version of this, it's the blades are the exact right size. They're yeah, it's the one that you want. So snag yourself some of these propellers and those 1604s. And yeah, that's going to be your best chance at picking up a 100+ gram propeller, GoPro with a 2.5-inch rig. All that being said, 3-inch is the size to pick up a full-size GoPro. This thing is going to it's going to be really noisy. And it's just going to be really noisy. It's going to lose some efficiency. Like this thing compared to a 3-inch rig picking up a Hero 11 Mini, same size battery, I'll bet you get at least a full extra minute out of the 3-inch rig in terms of runtime with that heavy of a payload. And you're way over 250 at that point, so like none of that really matters, right? One of the magical things about this rig is that with a naked GoPro you can keep this under 250 grams, but yeah, with a full-size 11 micro or mini, there's just no way of that happening. So at that point you might as well build like a Cinesplorer or a Tooth Fairy V2 as like a proper TinyWhoop. But again, this will do it with those 1604s and those Gemfan 5 blades. I don't know how well it's going to do it. I haven't personally done that combination, but the mental math all kind of works out for me. That KV 3800, the stator volume of a 1604, the amount of thrust that I'm pretty sure that these 5-blade Gemfans will make, or the HQ Octos. The HQ 6 blades are going to struggle. Believe it or not, the Gemfan 5 blades typically make the same amount of thrust because the blades are so much bigger and stronger as the HQ 8 blades. That's the way it is in 3-inch. So that should scale down to 2.5 as well. Good question, CH3. Espander says, are T-Motor F1507s any good? Would they be good for a 3-inch Vista Apex? Not really. 1507s and 1408s are way too tall of a stator for the amount of width. So, that makes a motor that overheats and it runs really hot. The wider a motor is, the more there is in the airflow to keep it cool. So when there's a really tall motor, all the airflow just whips right past it and it barely cools it down. And they end up running really hot. And electric motors hate running hot. They lose power, they lose efficiency. It's, hey, I'm going to run a thinner, skinnier motor for more efficiency, but then it's going to get too hot and it's going to lose efficiency. And it shoots itself in the foot. The other thing with 1507s is they're all 2mm motor shafts, so they're super fragile. So that would be the main part of the experience of running a 1507 or a 1408 on an Apex, a 3-inch Vista Apex, is that like every time you crashed inverted, you would eat a motor or two. And it gets old fast. I played that game for years, way back when. And it gets really old, and you stop flying the rig because every time you fly the damn thing, it costs $20 or $40 in motors, and it just gets really old really fast. So, yeah, I would definitely stay away from 1507s and 1408s. Not to mention that like they're really hard on your batteries, and they just kind of make too much power. Really quickly, I'm going to wrap up our little 2.5-inch box frame discussion with. I managed to get the weight almost identical on these two. I'm like blown away by how close the weight is on this thing. These two. This is the L.O.S 2.5 frame, which is like 14 grams heavier than this QAV Pro frame. But by putting lighter weight motors on this, 1404s rather than 1504s, and also this has a little bit less TPU on it than this. Mainly these front bumpers, which just nobody makes for the L.O.S 2.5. Yeah, these weigh almost exactly the same. They're like 3 grams off from one another. So yeah, I love that. I was really trying to do that so that in doing so, I can really evaluate like the performance of this style of rig with a 1404 versus a 1504. And yeah, I mean, it's just nice to have your all-up weights kind of dialed in and as close as possible on rigs that you're going to be flying interchangeably. Although I don't know if I'll be flying these interchangeably. One of these is basically just the main, and the other one is the backup, unless... What I do want to mess around with is these 1504s are only 3900 kV. These 1404s are 4600 kV. So on this rig, tri-blades are going to be perfect. On this rig, the tri-blades do work, but they just don't make quite enough thrust with this lower kV. So what I'm going to play around with on this rig is more pitchy propellers and more bladed propellers, really. I have some so these Emax Avan 2.5-inch scimitar props, these make the most thrust out of any of the tri-blades. So I'm going to try these, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to quite make enough with them. At that point, I'm going to go to the Gemfan 5 blade that we were just looking at, and I'm also going to screw around with the HQ multi-bladed propellers to see if yeah, there's something that this thing does better. I'm going to lose efficiency by doing that, and efficiency is really important with these rigs because I'm chasing cyclists and I need to get as many runs in for the live stream TV truck as possible before changing batteries. But I don't know, maybe with the Gemfin 5-bladed props, this does something like really, really good, or it'll certainly be a lot quieter. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. But hey, they're both done, and that's exciting because I struggle to finish rigs. I can't believe I haven't flown this yet, but I'm gonna put it on I'm gonna put it right here so that I remember to fly it as soon as possible. I have another one of these gigs coming up next Saturday, so this week is gonna be a really big week of testing that thing, retesting some of the other rigs, and yeah, just figuring it all out. What's up, CiottiFPV? Izzy Boop is in the house as well. We hung out yesterday for a while, flew some TinyWhoops, crashed some TinyWhoops, had a blast. So yeah, everybody say hey to the Izziest of Boops. All right, cool. We're caught up on chat. Let's fart around with some TinyWhoops, and then we will hop into the sim. This is going to be a little bit of a longer live stream today. Fair warning. Not that long because I really need to go to the grocery store. Maggie and I do. But yeah, this is not going to be a hour and 59-minute live stream. But you know, you can leave, come back, whatever. It's all good. So let's talk about this tiny lifter that does not have propellers on it right now. Oh man, did I throw that propeller away? I think I threw it away. That was stupid. All right, well, anyway, these, I love these Emax Azzy props. I really do. I really, really, really do. Where are they? Where is it? There it is. This is the most efficient and quietest of the propellers, of the TinyWhoop propellers. The problem with this propeller is that it's very fragile. And usually the fragility of these props... Where's my little pointer? There's my little pointer. Usually the fragility problem with these props occurs in here. And you'll, like, even just pushing one of these propellers on, you will bend one of these blades down, and then the propeller will wobble and put vibrations into your flight controller, which is bad. But on these, the problem that I keep having is in here. This little inner, and it's supported with these 3 little supports here, this little inner jib jab here will just like explode. It just lets go, and it like deteriorates. It's very weird. So like this is the second time this has happened where I have left a rig. In this case, well, in both cases it was tiny lifters. I put these propellers on and I just let it sit on the shelf. And during the course of it sitting on the shelf, the little inner area deteriorated. And the next time I flew it, one of the propellers just fell off. The last time it happened, it actually happened to 2 propellers. But this time it just happened with one of these propellers. And I took it to the drift thing and I went to fly it and the propellers just ripped right off. And then I found the propeller, and lo and behold, this little center area had just deteriorated. I don't understand it. I don't know why. Once it happened, the first time it happened on the Beta FPV 1102 18,000 kV motors, and now this time it happened on the Newbie Drone's own flow motors. So at this point, what I'm going to say is stay away from Azzy props. I already don't use the Azzy props on 65mm rigs because they're too fragile. I crash a lot. If you don't crash a lot, then they're not a terrible propeller. But these guys, on the other hand, and this is the 1.5mm motor shaft version. Maybe the 1mm motor shaft version of these are the 1.6 inch, the bigger ones. Maybe the 1mm motor shaft version is better Maybe that center area is thicker, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, very, very frustrating. So there's that. So yeah, don't in my opinion, don't get these ASI 1.6 inch 1.5 millimeter motor shafts, because they're just gonna fall apart. And then what I don't want is for you to fly your tiny lifter somewhere and then the propeller falls off and you can't get it back. Like that is peak nightmare. So yeah, there's that. All right. That being said, I'm going to show you the propeller that I think you should put on your tiny lifter. I am unprepared though, so I now have to go back here and find the right little propeller bag with my favorite 1.6 inch tri-blade propellers in it. This is how I stall when I'm not ready to do things. Let me take a quick look. Do I have a set of those ASIs in 1mm motor shaft? I do. Okay, so let's take a quick look if maybe on... Nope, it's not. It's not any thicker. It's not any thicker. But, I don't know. It hasn't happened... I haven't really used the 1.5 or the 1mm version, so I don't know. I don't know if this one would be better, but that's the 1mm version, and you can kind of see that the center, the thickness of the center of the hub is pretty much the same, and then it's just a bigger gap to the outer part. See what I mean? Like, initially I thought maybe that, like, it's the same exact propeller, but then they just drilled out the 1.5mm motor shaft version, and that's why it deteriorates, because the plastic... you know what? I think that is the case. I think maybe that is the case. I don't know. You guys make your own judgment call there. And I don't know, maybe on the 1mm shaft, it's sized better for this, or something like that, but... Yeah, what I will say is I am going to be staying away from the 1.5mm version of the 1.6 inch ASI. And I think that you should too. You guys know I love Newbie Drone, but I don't want you to... I love you guys not losing your rigs more than I love Newbie Drone. Sorry. But that's just the way it is. Hold on, let me look at these with my human eyes, not through the computer, and see if I can tell whether or not... Okay, no. They're not just drilling it out. It was hard to see it on the monitor, but now that I actually look at these things, it's two different molds. The thickness of the plastic here on the 1.5mm motor shaft version, it's the same thickness of plastic as on the 1mm. So that could very well be a problem with the 1mm version of these as well. Like I said, though, I don't know. I've only had this happen on the 1.5mm version. For all I know, maybe this is printed with a different plastic, and maybe that's why it's happening. But yeah, I'm going to be staying far away from these 1.5mm 1.6 ASIs. And this has happened on both the clear ones and the smoke crotch gray ones. So you can't escape the problem by changing colors in this case. These are the propellers that I am going to be putting onto this guy. These are the brand new Gemfan 1608. And these are the best, in my opinion, of the 1.6 inch tri-blades. All of the rest of the 1.6 inch tri-blades are basically just way too pitchy. Just way too much pitch. The propeller manufacturers have really kind of figured out that all of the TinyWhoop props that we've had are just, yeah, they're just asking too much. I mean, just propellers in general, we've been moving towards, we've been going lower and lower and lower pitch over the last couple of years. So that's been like a little bit of a secret to to current prop design, and that's awesome. It's one of the reasons why TinyWhoops have been flying so much better over the last couple of years, and luckily we've been able to match that up with some motors that are much higher kV, which has been really awesome. I am going to hold on to these Azzies. I'm tempted to just kind of throw them away, but I am going to hold on to them. Annoyingly, I just bought another set of them. I kind of forgot about this problem, or I just assumed it was like a one-off issue. I literally just bought another set of the 1.6-inch Azzies with the 1.5 mil shaft, but in smoky gray. Smoky Joe gray. Well, this one looks a little different. No, it's the same. That's the same. Yeah, weird problem, man. Very weird problem. Like, it literally happens when your rig is just sitting there on the shelf. Like, that's wild. Usually things happen when we slam into walls and concrete and stuff like that, but not this. This happens while your quad is resting. It's really such a shame because these propellers are so quiet and they're so efficient and they make so much thrust. But I just can't have them falling off. I can't risk that. This quad all up with the camera on it is like almost $500. I can't risk $500 for a slightly better performing propeller. Yeah, which makes me sad, but hey. So this has always been like the main tiny lifter, and I'm happy to say that it is officially, I thought it was back up in the air. This is the one that I was playing around with the trying to get the Acro B BLV4s to work. And I've just recently kind of given up, and I put a BLV3 back into it, and now it's working again. And as of right now, it is actually ready to go. I was so excited on Thursday to fly this one again and compare it to the other tiny lifter, which is the Smoke Crotch Gray one, fully fucking murdered out tiny lifter, on higher kV motors and bi-blades. I was really excited to fly these things back to back again, finally, and see how this one does chasing the RC drift cars. I've flown these back to back a bunch outside, but like it's hard to tell anything outside because like all of the distances are so big and you're not really like, trying to change your elevation by millimeters at a time. But chasing these little drift cars, you certainly are. So very excited to back these this coming Thursday and see if the slightly heavier rig with the tri-blades does anything better than the higher kV bi-blade rig. So yeah, have some feedback on that for you. What is the weight difference between these two? It should be pretty slight. The bulk of the weight difference between these two is the motors. These Beta FPV 1102 18,000 kV motors are a little bit lighter than these Newbie-drone 1102 10,000 kV motors. Other than that, though, the builds are absolutely identical. 34.7 grams versus... Wow, that's not nothing. 37.8. So 3 gram difference. And that's pretty much all in the motors. Same antenna, same canopy, same TPU print, same AIO, same EP2. The propellers. The propellers are a part of that weight difference too, right? Tri-blade propellers are always going to be heavier than bi-blades. So yeah, there's our tiny lifter talk. And now we can move on to some other stuff here. Namely, a quick little soldering tutorial. If you guys are into that kind of thing, which I'm sure you are. So we're gonna really quickly. I'll give you guys like a vlog experience. Oh, I can't. The cable's not long enough. Damn it. Cable's not long enough. Here, we'll do it. Wide angle. Wait, that's not the right rig. What else? What else do people do that make build edits do? Wait, no. Here, I got it. We need to solder on a new power lead to this guy. Hold on. Let me get caught up on chat. Abraham says, I have an old squirt. You should have a doctor take a look at that. With a Rush F7 stack and 14.0 motors, what can I build that's fun using that kind of drivetrain? To be really honest, the only use for 1507s and 1408s that makes sense to me is high speed, is building a high speed rig, because that's the only way to keep the motor temperature under control with those, right? Because you're just doing like a 1 second big burst of throttle. So yeah, that's what I would do that's the only like good use, in my very specific opinion, of 1507s and 1408s. Some people, most of them who haven't flown 2004s or 2204s or any of the current TinyWhoop motors, say that the 1507s and the 1408s are great. But it's weird. Like, as soon as they fly a TinyWhoop from the last 2 years with wider, flatter motors, they go, "Oh my god!" It's crazy how that works. I don't understand. It's almost like they're wrong. So yeah. In terms of that TinyWhoop, if you want to keep that TinyWhoop together, I would just swap the motors out, and you're going to like the way that it flies a lot better. All that being said, TinyWhoops are pretty specific. Like, if you don't have a subject to fly, TinyWhoops don't make a whole lot of sense, right? They're kind of slow, and the whole point is that you have protection on the guards so that you can fly them around people safely. So yeah, without like a subject to fly around, TinyWhoops are... You tend to get bored of them pretty quickly, right? Because they're just kind of slow. If you have like a really pretty place to fly, they're great, because you can fly nice and slow and safe, and then yeah, you can do some fun stuff with it. But I know a lot of people, when TinyWhoops were first kind of came out and were popularized, a lot of people just jumped all over them, like, "Oh my god, this is the next hype train thing, I need to have it." And then for like people that just fly freestyle, it's kind of like, "Oh, well, what the hell am I going to do with this thing?" Because it just doesn't do... It's just not a freestyle rig, right? Like, there's nothing freestyle about it. That being said, with the bigger, wider, flatter motors, it does do freestyle stuff a hell of a lot better than with 1507s or 1408s. But it's still, yeah, it's still not in any way, shape, or form a freestyle rig. So yeah. I mean, you can technically just take those 1408s and put them onto like an Apex 3-inch, or even an Apex 4-inch probably, or an AOS 3.5, and it'll absolutely fly. You don't want to bash it and crash it, because those motors are going to be a nightmare. You're going to bend up a lot of motor bells. But it'll have plenty of power to move that rig around. You're just going to have to fly carefully. So there's that. But yeah. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about that, to be honest. This is annoying. These are through holes, and this let go. I wonder why. This rig has been through hell and back. I guess I'm not surprised that the battery lead shit the bed. But admittedly, this is a little bit annoying. This is especially annoying because I'm going to now have to shorten this lead down a little bit. And I don't love that, because this needs to go backwards to the rear of the frame. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, so here we go. Wire popped off. Here's how you fix it. Flip on your side. First step, jack up your car. That's a Mighty Car Mods joke for non-car people. We're going to take some flux paste. I love the flux pastes that are in these syringes. And we're going to put flux paste on the positive lead here, up on the top. Flux paste is going to transfer the heat from the tip of the soldering iron to whatever you're working on as fast as possible, and that's what you want. So there's a bunch of strands of wire that are now like trapped inside this through hole. Let's see how many of them we can just kind of push out. So that through hole is now nice and hot, and I was actually able to push a bunch of them out. It's kind of hard to see it on the bottom there, but there are a bunch of strands of wire poking through the bottom of this through hole here. I'm now going to apply heat on the inside of that through hole and try to like pull them out, sorta. That ain't really working. This is actually a time where a solder sucker would be nice. This is the perfect use of a solder sucker, but I do not have one. So we are going to work this out in a different way. I think what I'm going to do is take some of this wire braid, which is my preferred way of removing solder over a solder sucker. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bend in this. I'm going to try to feed this down through the hole. So yeah, see how I bent it in half? I'm going to continue to bend that in half. And I'm going to try to push. That's not going to fit. Let's do this. Let's remove all the solder with this braid, and then we'll just jam something down there to see if we can push the individual strands of wire out. Rybox says coming in hot. Indeed. Hdzero says, when you get the 1S Walksnail VTX, put hot glue or something on the outside of the data plug. The plastic is kind of fragile. Good tip. Thank you, dude. I will do welder or something. I don't use hot glue on VTXs because I find that they get hot enough to make the hot glue like, you know, goopy and not sticky. Ooh, that worked better than I thought it would. All right, cool. So that's a bunch of the solder removed. Now let's, I think I have like a safety pin up in here that I usually use to put through these through holes. Yeah, there it is. So I'm going to take a little safety pin here, and we're going to ram this in that through hole and see if we can push those individual strands of wire out of there. Kind of be easier said than done. Yeah, no, they're still they've still got a bunch of solder on them. Okay, so let's try it one more time. Let's try to remove the solder one more time. What you want to remember about solder is that it travels towards heat. So even though on the bottom of this through hole we do have a bunch of individual strands of wire that have like some leftover solder on them, which is why they're wanting to stick to this hole, there's a chance that we can just keep putting heat on here with this solder wick and pull the solder off of those individual strands, and then those individual strands should fall out. So let's try that. Let's just hit this one more time. Put that on top there. And this solder wick does have a rosin core with flux in it, but it's always nice to add a little bit extra. All right, so here we go. Get it nice and hot. And it is pulling solder up. I can see the solder braid changing color. All right, so there we go. We just pulled some more of the solder out. Now let's try again. It's probably not going to work, but it's worth a shot. Yeah, no, they're still in there. Okay, so let's try something different. Hold Well, first off, let's try to grab them with little needle nose pliers and just get a grip on them and yank. Probably grab a couple of them this way. No, they're really stuck on there. In there, rather. Yeah, they're up in there. Okay, so let's try that little trick with just using the tip of the soldering iron to try to encourage them to come out here again. So we're going to use flux this time, though. We're going to do it right. So put some flux down here. And now, get this guy out of the way. Okay, so now, here we go. I'm just going to pull like upwards. I'm going to try to just pull these guys out. Oh, that's working. That's working real well. There's a little clump of them. And, oh yeah, that is, that's the move right there. And that pretty much got all of them. Cool. So that's how to do that. I've actually not had to do that before. I use these through holes all the time, and I use them because they're so strong, and it's such a strong connection to the wire. And yeah, I've not had that happen before. So that's good to know. I don't think there's like a right way to do that. I think that little like 3-step process is sort of the way to go. Maybe you could have skipped the safety pin step though, because it didn't really seem to do anything. But the solder braid, I think that that loosened up the hold that those little individual strands had on the edges of the through hole. But yeah, that through hole is completely clean now. See how you can see through it there? Right next to the white wire? I'll move it on my... Yeah, there you go. You can see right through it. So yeah, that through hole is completely cleaned out. Very cool. Abraham says, how did you get the wire to sit on the BT2 plug like that? Just solder the wires at a right angle? Indeed. Yep. The wire is just soldered at... So well, here's a BT 2.0 plug. So the plug has these little flat spots on it. Come on, you bastard. Come on. Really? I'm giving you something flesh colored. Focus. There it is. So the plug has... Fuck! The plug has flat spots in it. You see them? Those flat spots? So you want to take those flat spots. You want to take your little needle nose pliers and you want to point those flat spots outwards. So take them, grab them, and just twist it until those little flat bastards are facing out. And I need to do it on this one, so I might as well do it with you guys here so you can see exactly what I mean. And almost there. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so this is what you want it to look like. This is what you want it to look like. What if I do like this? What if I do that? Will it focus? Will the Logitech focus? It will not. Please! Oh my god, I'm gonna light the entire building on fire. I can just pull this up, C922. Oh, now the Logitech app shits the bed. Great. Way to go. Idiots. Oh, now it won't let me make any changes. What the... Why can't I make any changes? Oh my god. Why is the configuration disabled? Don't do that. Okay. That was weird. Focus. Auto off as macro as possible. There we go. There we go. Okay. So that's what you want your BT 2.0 to look like. See the little flat spots are facing outwards? There you go. Now you can really see it. Flat spots facing outwards like that. Oh my god. Can you please? There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Cool. So you're going to run your wire. I'll do it with flux. You're going to run your wire at a super sharp angle, each one of the wires, out. And you're gonna angle them. You know? Angle them so that you can do that. And you can put the wire at like a 45-degree angle down. Do it here. So if this is the connector, you're gonna run the wire. You're gonna run the wire like that. You know what I mean? And then it wraps like that. And then you can hook it up with that little plug at like a 45-degree angle. So if this is this is perfect. So this is the plug. This is the white part of the plug. And here are the little prong. Wait, no. Let's do it like this. There we go. There we go. There's the two little prongs, right, on the plug. This is the white part. So you're gonna run the cable like that. Like that. So it has a nice contact patch here, but then it goes up and you can pull it right over the white part, and then you can put a little bit of shrink wrap on there. That makes sense? God, is that hard to kind of show. And now, unfortunately, I'm going to go back to autofocus. All right. What's up, Grizz? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you've been doing awesome. Abraham says, set soldering iron on table, hot board / pad on iron, use tweezers to grab the wires. An interesting approach. CMYK says, that motor twitch didn't follow the motors, so the AIO is shot, I assume. It is indeed. Sorry, brother. The dead giveaway was that it was 2 motors at a time. That typically doesn't happen. But it was worth it's worth the troubleshoot to move the motors, because it's not impossible for 2 of them to die at once. Okay, so now we are just going to strip a little bit of silicone off this wire. We're going to tin the wire, and then we are going to hook it back up. If you use your fingernails to strip wire, you will never accidentally cut or nick any of the internal strands of wire. So believe it or not, your fingernails are kind of the ideal tool for stripping, especially these really thin wires, in my opinion, and in the opinion of my electrical engineer father, who was trained by NASA, so he kind of knows what he's doing. Which is where a lot of my soldering knowledge kind of comes from. Him, and just doing it a lot with a lot of different rigs over the years, and paying really close attention to like when shit fails and why it fails, and trying to make it better and all that. So yeah, let's tin this wire. When you're tinning a wire, you're going to put your heat source, the tip of the soldering iron, below the wire, and then you're going to feed solder from above the wire. What you're trying to do is feed solder in between all the little strands, all the little individual strands of wire. So this is what that looks like, heat source on the bottom. It helps to touch the solder directly to the tip of the soldering iron, to just sort of get a little bit of solder going on there, and then you can bring it over and push the solder into the strands of wire. Right now I got something weird going on with the tip of the soldering iron. All right, now we're good. So heat source on the bottom, push the solder through, and that's all there is to it. Now your wire has a bunch of solder on it, and you will not need to add solder while you're also trying to hold the wire in place. That's kind of the whole, it's one of the main points of tinning wires, is it allows you to focus on the placement of the wire when you're connecting it to the pad or to the through hole. And that is what we're going to do next. So let's move some of this stuff out of the way here, like the antenna, and we can feed the wire up through the through hole and hold it in place. There we go. So that's keep sliding out. Come on, get in there. There we go. Okay, so the wire is now in there, and you can just kind of like, I don't know, like every time you do this, it's going to be slightly different, but just use your little fingies to figure out how you want to be able to push the wire forward a little bit. This is hard to show you guys. This is hard to do and show you guys at the same time, but Let's do this. Let's use a little vat of silly putty, basically. This is thermally resistive putty, but it's basically just blue Fun Tack. So if I put this in here, it's going to hold it kind of solid-ish. And then I can just use my fingers to kind of hold this guy on there. Man, he does not want to go through there. So the problem I'm having is that this blue wire is now a little bit shorter. And so it doesn't want to stay in there. It wants to come out. And I have, like, this wire has been facing rearwards its whole life. So it really doesn't want. All right, so I'm putting a little bit of inward force on the wire. And I'm just going to bring the soldering iron onto the top of the through hole, continue to push it. And then that's all there is to it. Through holes are really nice because the solder is going to flow from the entire outside of the through hole and like encapsulate the wire, and you end up with like a really strong connection. And so yeah, there we go. That is all fixed. Unfortunately, the blue wire is now a little bit shorter, which I hate because I cut these wires to a very specific length so that when they sit on the battery, we don't have this big chunk of extra white wire like this. So I'm really tempted to now I'm gonna desolder the white wire, and I'm gonna shorten it down a little bit. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It'll be fine like this. It'll be fine like this. The problem is the white wire at this length might try to get into the propellers. God damn it. Yeah, I'm gonna shorten up this white wire. It's the right thing to do. I'll do it right. This is like my main TinyWhoop, so I won't half-ass it, even though I really want to. Alright, so we're going to put some heat on the top of this through hole with the white wire in it. White wire being the ground wire, so it is going to be a little bit more difficult here. But just stick with it. Ground wires are always just going to require a little bit more heat. So just be patient. In this case, the problem is that it's not transferring the heat properly because there's no flux on it. So let's fix that. Okay, now we've got some flux on there. This will go a lot easier. And there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to leave this on that through hole another split second. And I'm going to show you guys the other way. So sometimes you don't, so this through hole here, I did not clear it out. So this through hole is all caked up with solder, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how to kind of deal with that. You don't always need to clear it out. In my case, I needed to clear it out because there were those individual strands of wire in it because of how this thing broke. But yeah, in my case right now, I don't need to clean this all the way out. And let me show you how to get around that. So I'm going to cut this down a little bit. I'm going to cut just that much off. I'm just kind of taking a guess. But now we will kind of hold it up here to make sure. So I'm going to hold the white wire up roughly where it's going to be, and then we're going to take a look. And it's actually still, a little bit long, but that's actually okay. Yeah, it's fine. I would rather it be a tiny little bit too long because the way that this plug sits, the white wire has to travel a little bit of a longer distance. So, all right. We're going to come in here. We're going to use our fingernails to strip the silicone off this wire. Just a little bit. You with through holes, look at the thickness of the PCB. The thickness of the PCB is all that you need to remove. Don't remove a whole big chunk of silicone if the PCB is really thin. And usually the PCBs are pretty thin. You don't need a bunch of wires sticking out the top of the PCB. All right. So there we go. Now we got our bare wires. We're going to tin them real quick. And then we're going to send it through that hole. The other thing that tinning these does is it keeps the individual strands of wire together, which is really nice. Because there's nothing worse than like one little strand of rogue wire popping out and connecting your positive and negative leads, and then hopefully your ESC or AIO has short protection and it won't explode, but some of them don't, and they will explode in that scenario. All right, so we got a little bit of solder on there to tin it. Now this time what we're going to do is feed this wire through with the hole being clogged. So clogged up with solder. So what I'm going to have to do is feed this through while I have the tip of the soldering iron on the other side of the through hole to make the solder liquid. Right now I can't feed this through because there's solid solder in there. There's cooled solder in there. So we need to bring the tip in, heat the solder up, and then we can feed this wire into the through hole. And this is what that looks like. You want to kind of angle it so that you can see the hole with the tip of the soldering iron, and then when you put the soldering iron down on it, you can kind of lock the tip into the through hole, and then you can move your head to the other side so that you can actually feed it, like get it in the hole. So you can get it in the hole, friends. I'm gonna put on my my nerd glasses, my little magnifying headset thing for this, because my eyes are not what they were when I was in my, even just my 30s. Certainly not what they were when I was in my 20s. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to hit this, and there was a little edge on this, so I'm just going to kind of take off. All right, so here we go. And tip of the soldering iron is on the through hole, giving it a second to warm up. There it goes. The solder in there is now liquid. I'm going to move my head over to the left side and feed this wire through. Usually helps to rotate it a little bit. Okay, hold on now. Hold on. All right, I've got an extra little bit of solder here that I didn't see on the other side that was kind of clogging things up. Okay, so that's good. Let me add a little bit of flux. Okay, let's try that one more time. Clean the tip of the soldering iron, and here we go. There we go. Moving my head over and feeding the wire through. Come on. Come on, little buddy. Ouch. I think the situation right now is I've got when I tinned this wire, I added a little bit too much solder. So let's do this. We're going to take the solder wick and we're going to remove a little bit of the solder from this piece of wire. I don't know if this is going to work. Usually you need to like push the wire to get yeah, this ain't going to work. All right, so we're going to put the wire down here. Towards the bottom. Now we're going to hold this guy like this. I think someone is putting a human head in the garbage disposal upstairs. The fucking noise is alarming. There we go. So that just removed a bunch of the solder from that wire. Basically, the solder, the excess solder on this exposed bit of wire was making the wire a little bit too big for the through hole, basically. So yeah, now I've just removed a little bit of it, and okay, yeah, this right here is why a lot of people just don't use through holes, because every once in a while you have to play this game of your exposed bit of wires is a little bit too thick. to fit through the through hole, and you got to just sit here and just push on the wires to make them round again. It's only when they become like flattened out or like a little rectangle, and it just takes a second. Just come in here with the tip of your soldering iron and just round this thing back out, pushing the wires together, and you'll be back in business in no time. Alright, so this should now be good. Being a little bit crazy about it at the moment. Alright, cool. So let's try that one more time. Put a little bit of flux on here. And so I didn't, you can never really remove all the solder, right? So like the solder wick removes the excess solder, but we've still got all of the solder in between the individual strands of these wires, and that's really what's important here. All right, we're back on the pad, moving my head off to the left side and feeding the wires through. Jesus. There it is. They're through. My finger's being burned, and away we go. Woo, boy. That was a little harder than it normally is. Sometimes dealing with through holes is a pain in the ass. I will absolutely admit that. Lots of people don't use them. My father holds firm that if you have through holes, you should use them. And that's where I'm at with it as well. My experience with using the through holes has been that they are hilariously strong. And yeah, that's what I want. I want to work on my stuff as infrequently as possible. And that means sometimes putting in a little bit more work on the front end. Oops, I just quit the Logitech hub. All right, cool. So this guy is good to go. We can throw this back together. And yeah, there are some kind of soldering basics for you. Any questions on soldering? Drop them in the chat, yo. Rob Oxison says, solder. Michael Blade says, hey. GrizzFPV says, what's up, Gangly Gang? And CiottiFPV. Rob Oxison says, did you have any strain relief for BT 2.0 wires from being pulled on? I do not. And that lack of strain relief is exactly why I had just had to make this repair. I don't know of a way to do strain relief in the confines of these TinyWhoop frames. You know, like strain relief is going to weigh something. We're really trying to keep the weight down. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. If you guys have a no weight method of strain relief, let me know. I will say this though, I've not had to do that repair before, and good lord, this rig has had a lot of batteries flown on it. So yeah, I think this is a pretty one-off sort of situation, and that you won't have to deal with all that often. So I don't think we need to go nutso trying to figure out strain relief. I mean, like the area that you have is back here. Like I would rather save a little bit of weight and not have strain relief and have to make that little repair every so often than to like add any weight at all. But that's just me. That's just me. I would love to not have had to do that repair as well. So, win some, you lose some. I like to put this little arrow in this frame forward because they have this battery tray shifted rearward a little bit. And by shifting the battery tray rearward, what it does is it more evenly centers the weight of the battery. Remember, the battery has that big plastic thing on it. That plastic part doesn't weigh as much as the rest of the battery, which is lithium polymer. So yeah, having the little arrow pointing forward is just going to center the weight front to rear a little bit more on your TinyWhoop. And probably, I can almost guarantee you that you could not pick that out in a blind test. But there are plenty of things that you can't pick out in blind tests that certainly have an effect on performance. And so, yeah. If the theory behind something is sound, but you can't feel the difference, that don't mean much. It's really hard to feel anything with these rigs because we're only relying on sound and vision. Like, we don't have our ass in the seat detecting, like, G-force and stuff like that to be able to, you know, the word feel, right? Like, feel is related to our sense of touch, and I think more so in motorsport and flying's case, our sense of gravity, our G meter in our ears, right? Our inner ear. And we don't have any use of our G meter with these things, which makes actually feeling the difference. And I say actually feeling the difference because placebo is really strong, and it's going to tell you, especially after you spent a bunch of money and time buying and installing something, it's going to tell you that you can feel a difference. But when you actually blind test it with someone else, you'll find that you're only able to tell the right answer about 50% of the time. And at 50%, you can flip a coin. So basically what that means is that you can't tell a difference. You got to be able to tell the difference correctly like 70 or 80% of the time. And boy, is that difficult. Do some blind testing if you have a friend that flies FPV with you. You will be shocked how many things you actually can't tell the difference. You'll be shocked how often you're 50% right, 50% wrong. Unless it's obvious, like two different propellers that sound completely different, right? Like you'll be able to tell there. Unfortunately, if you take sound out of the equation, like if you wear earplugs or listen to loud music while you're flying, your ability to sense the difference between things goes way down because you've taken another sense away, and now all you have is your sense, your vision. So yeah, it's interesting, man. Trying to properly head-to-head test FPV stuff is incredibly difficult, and some of the biggest brains in FPV have not been able to figure it out yet. But god damn it, we shall all keep trying. To be honest, I don't think there is a way. I don't think that there is a way to properly blind test gear other than like listening to loud music and just doing it by vision. But unfortunately, your vision is not going to be able to tell. Like, it's just not. It's not good enough. It's not good enough to really be able to tell the difference. But do your own blind testing. Maybe you're just that much better than me. I'm not that great of a pilot, so don't let my lack of ability to tell the difference between things turn you off from doing some testing or whatever. I have a tendency to just kind of adjust to things. It's something that came about back in motorsport days of being an instructor and driving a lot of people's different cars and trying to get the best out of other people's cars within a 1 minute run. So I developed this ability to just like not focus at all on the problem with the platform that I'm driving or flying and just troubleshoot it on the fly and very quickly fix, what my brain essentially fix whatever I need to pilot that car around the racetrack as quickly as possible to get the fastest time. So you see, we still have a little bit of extra cable here. Hold on. I still have just enough. And you can see, this is what I'm talking about. This plastic part is pretty lightweight. So having the battery tray shifted ever so slightly backwards, this is the rear of the frame here, it's going to center up the battery a little bit more. Technically speaking, we want the battery all the way back here like this. But what I find happens is every time I nose in crash, the battery shifts, the battery shifts, the battery shifts. So what I do at this point is I just push the battery all the way into the tray so it can't go anymore, And then I have the frame oriented, so the tray mount part is sitting back a little bit farther, so the battery is, when this battery is pushed forward, it's as far back as possible with this tray the way it is. And then bingo, bango, bongo, we have just a little bit of space to plug in. And that's kind of like as short as you can have these motor wires to save as much weight as possible. Let's fly it, yo! I think that's all I'm doing on the bench, so I can kill this guy. Let's fly a couple of batteries, because I have a few here you guys seem to like when I fly, and then we can move on to some other stuff. Good God, it's 5 o'clock already. Holy Christ. Michael or Mitchell K says, what motor size you'll use for that Walksnail build, and also 1S or 2S batteries. 1S for sure. 2S really doesn't belong with TinyWhoops. It's way too much weight, way too much power. It'll be 1S, and it'll probably be the... I will probably repurpose... I will buy a set of the 0802 1.5mm motor shaft snowblower motors, and I will... Well, maybe not. So I have the iGao 0802 1.5mm shaft 27,000 kV motors on my Basher build for Jungle Gym nonsense. And there's a chance that that build will get a Walksnail setup. Probably not, but you never know. Here's what I'll say. Initial build with the Walksnail setup, I will almost certainly do these 0802 Hex 0802 30,000 kV motors, just to make sure that I have enough power. And then if I can go lower power on them, I'll try to get another set of those iGao 1.5mm motor shaft 27,000 kV motors. Or I'll buy a set of the snowblowers for that, the Jungle Gym Basher rig, and then move those iGaus over to that 1S Walksnail build. The Walksnail build, the main Walksnail build is for chasing drift cars. It doesn't have to have huge power, but an 8-gram weight penalty is gonna need some power. So I'm kind of going into the land of the unknown. So I'll start off with motors that I've already got and then kind of dial it in from there. It's why it's really nice to have very high kV motors on hand, because you can just motor limit them down, and like no matter what, if you have a higher kV motor, you're gonna have something that's got enough power, and then if it's too much power, you can turn it down. If you have motors that are sitting around that are too low of a kV, you're kind of screwed. You can't motor limit up. Oh, rejected. Here we go! Frying TinyWhoops. Let's hang out in the little... Let's hang out in this little area for a minute. What can we do here? Think about replacing this plant. This plant is struggling. It be struggling. Oh, hi! God, I didn't know Maggie was there. I'm glad I didn't smash into her. See if we can get it bouncing. Feeding the TinyWhoop. Oh, God. I'm stuck to the wall. Oh, no. No, no, no. Oh, God. Line it up. Got it. Oh, the stairs got me. That was a weird... Oh, boy. That was a weird attempted full room power loop. Let's do the right one. There it is. God, is that the most satisfying thing you've ever seen? Or is my name Billy Bob Thornton? Let's get a little orbit going around the Papazon. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What you know about that? Lock the fuck in for a second there. Ooh, you. Hi, little friend there. I'll be back later for you. That's that Led Zeppelin 4 album that I got for my birthday from Maggie. Ooh, just judging them distances. Alright, enough upstairs shenanigans. Oh, of course. No. Okay, good. Enough upstairs shenanigans. Let's get our asses back down here. Oh, God! Oh, no! The ceiling is so angry. Angry ceiling is very upset with me. I forgot to plug that in. That's kind of annoying. That's alright. I gotta take this apart. I'm gonna turn it into the... I'm gonna do the cube configuration with it. Ah! Stop it! Stop hitting all the things. Let's get dialed back in here. When I fly without the OSD, I never know if like the battery's gonna be sagging or not. It's kind of difficult, but it looks better. Looks better for the live stream. I am having a hard time. Oh boy, don't break the glasses. Oh! Oh, the fucking burrito blanket ate my face. Oh God, that horizontal gate is really my new favorite thing. Oh! What was the thought process there? Are my goggles foggy, or did that camera just get knocked all the way out of focus? Tell me I didn't just break this effing camera. Oh, it is so out of focus. What the hell? No, this is one of the OG Runcam Nano 3s. Oh no, did I break you? Oh, I think I broke it. Oh no. What happened to you, little guy? What happened to you? Did I break the mount? Why is it, what? Oh no. This camera is so rare. Hold on. Let me grab the lens and turn it, see what's going on here. Alright, so it's not a lens that you can grab and turn. We've learned that. If I turn it to the left. Nope, nothing. Lens does not like to be grabbed and turned. That's weird. It seems solid. Oh man, it is so out of focus though. So out of focus. No. No, I like this camera. No. Can I fly with it like this? No. No. Oh no. No. I mean, all things considered, this camera lived quite the life, and I can't blame it for shitting its pants, because it has been slammed into things for months and 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 months. Oh man, no. No, impossible to find Runcam Nano 3. Come back to me. Walk towards the light. Please live. Hold on, let me take one more look at it with the 5x loop here. I mean, it's weird. It looks completely fine. The lens looks fine. It doesn't look like it moved out or in. I don't get it. Yeah, I mean, like, the lens is connected to a piece of plastic that is still, like, sitting on the board of the camera just fine. It must have been, like, there must be, like, an internal lens that shat the bed. With cameras, you can't really just unplug and replug them. That just doesn't really work. But we'll try it anyway. No. Oh, no. Fuck. Well, I have one more of these. I guess at this point I will put the call out to you beautiful people. If you've got quads with Runcam Nano 3s, this camera, you guys know, list in chat the quads that you know of, the bind and flies, that have come with Runcam Nano 3s. I think there was a Tiny Hawk, just list them out. The ones that I know offhand, this Runcam Nano 3 has come on all of the Mobula 6 and 7s for a long time. And there was an early version of this camera that looks a lot better than the not a lot better, but it looks better in the goggles than the current version. And the way that you can tell the difference is that the OG version, like I have here, the lens is completely round. The black surrounding part of the lens is perfectly round. This is what I'm looking for. I will pay you good money for this OG version of the Runcam Nano 3. The current version of the Runcam Nano 3, which is totally fine, and in some cases, I actually kind of think it looks better, looks like this. And I have a whole bunch of these, so I don't, and I mean, you can just buy these. But yeah, this is the version of the Runcam Nano 3 that I do not need. You see how there's like the big notches on the outside of the plastic? So yeah, this is the current version. If you can take a look at your quads, and if you've got a Runcam Nano 3 that does not have a lens that looks like this, yeah, please let me know. I would love to buy it off of you. And I will be indebted to you forever. Oh man, that's a bummer. That's a real kick in the testicles. But we shall. Well, that's a good stopping point for our TinyWhoop flying, I guess. Okay. All right. So this guy has to stay out. I have to do more work on it. I'm not gonna switch the camera on here because we're super behind. It's 5:15 already, and we still got to do a little bit of low uptilt drift car chasing. Velocidrone is fired up. You guys will be able to join this room. If you don't have the freestyle pack, which is like an extra $6 or something, you won't be able to see the drift cars. But I mean, you can just chase, like you can just chase us around, which is kind of fun, maybe. Jory says, go crash it into something again, see if it focuses. Rob Oxen says, soldering with Ciotti, the Bob Ross of micros. His hair is getting there. I'm getting my haircut on Tuesday. My hair went from like in control and like kind of fine to just a hot goddamn mess in the span of like a couple of weeks. I don't know. It's wild. But yeah, it's getting cut on Tuesday. All right, Velocidrone coming up here. Freeler just says, have a good gangles. Got to go shopping. Nice. Abraham says, might have popped the sensor off the PCB. Denzel the Terrible says, looks like the CCZ is going to skew. Athix says, just got back from Folly Beach. Oh wow, very cool. I used to live 5 miles from Folly Beach for many years. Kevin Sumner says, time to try the newish Flywoo camera. Got to use different mount though, no screw holes. Yeah, that's why I haven't used the Flywoo camera yet. Is because they didn't put screw holes in the corners. Very annoying. Right 9 says, if there is one car you can see it without the pack, can't see when 3 cars are enabled. Cars? What? Cars? Oh. In Velocidrone. If there's only one car, you can see it without the pack. Oh, can't see when 3 cars are enabled. Cool, so we'll just chase 1 car then. Hold on, actually, before this, I almost forgot. I'm gonna blast through this as quickly as possible. I stole that little mailbag thing from Mighty Car Mods, give them a follow here on YouTube. They're the best car channel on YouTube, hands down. Little care package from Brain 3D. Brian from Brain did a couple cool things for me. These are Tooth Fairy 2 Hero, Jesus, 9, 10, and 11 mounts from Brian. 110 degree, 130 degree. These are going to live on the Tooth Fairy for both TinyWhoop, and this is my backup rig for the cycle chasing events. You have to put a really small battery on this for it to be sub 250. But it does have guards, so it does work for the no external stabby bits. I'm gonna have to trim the front part of this guard to get it out of the view of the camera. But yeah, this is coming with me. Set up as a TinyWhoop. I'm gonna remove these. I have to test these and fly them this week. But when I leave for the event, this will have ducts on it as a full-blown TinyWhoop for getting B-roll and just flying safely near people but not above people, because in order to be above people you have to be sub 250. So yeah, this will be set up as a TinyWhoop, but these really cool little carbon fiber guards just fold almost completely flat when you take them apart, so I'll just throw these in my bag. God forbid I need to. These guys can go on, and this rig with a very small battery will be sub 250 and can be like my third level backup quad for chasing the cyclists. I can't possibly imagine that both of the 2.5-inch purpose-built rigs would go down, but if they do, I've got coverage. So yeah, that's what these little guys are for. The next thing that Brian did for me was to convert his little Immortal T standoff holders to M2. He shrunk down the inner diameter because the AOS 2.5 and the QAVS Pro use M2 standoffs, and I wanted a way to mount my Immortal T. And yeah, these little guys, which Brain sells really cheap, are my favorite way. I have these on all of my rigs to hold Immortal T antennas down off the standoff and down a little bit. On this one, I did it like a wing up on top, which is kind of weird, but it totally works for these use. So yeah, if you need a way of holding an Immortal T on a rig with M2 standoffs, all you got to do is just order the regular version of these, and then in your note just say, "Yo, Ciotti told us that that you now have a modified version of these Immortal T holders for M2 standoffs. Can you please print me those instead of the M3 standoff ones?" And I'm sure Brian will hook you up because he's just awesome. And then one of the really cool things in here is these little guys. These are proof of concept lens hoods for DJI cameras. So these are designed to slot onto the lens and block lens flare from coming in. At Miami, when I was going down the main drag, the sun was setting off on the. I was flying perfectly northwest, and the sun was coming down in the west, and it was coming in between the buildings and hitting the lens of the camera and creating a big ugly bloom that the truck was having trouble color grading out. So yeah, I messaged Brian. I said, "Hey, any chance you have any interest in making a little lens hood for these things?" And he was like, "Yeah, cool." So the reason that this is called a tulip style lens hood, the reason it looks this way is that the corners of your field of view are much wider, right? So you can add additional material on the top, bottom, left, and right because there's less field of view on those angles. So yeah, I'm gonna be testing this, and he made it in yellow so that we can see it. You know, it's the easiest to see in the corners because we got to figure out how deep we can make these cuts in this thing. You want this to be as big as possible, but not too big. And then Brian said, you know what? Let me just make you a gigantic one that you can just cut down yourself with flush cutters to see, you know, what the maximum size is. So he sent me a couple of these ones that I'm going to hack to bits. But I'm actually, this is a hell of a first attempt. I'm really curious if this will be close to right. So I'm going to use this first, and then I'll screw around with these. So yeah, that's going to be some of the testing that I do this week. Is to, you know, just dial this in. That'd be nice to have a little lens hood for these things. It also technically protects it. If you smash it nose in and you've got something on there, it could potentially save the lens and or the entire camera. So that's kind of cool. All right, so that's the box from Brain 3D. And also got a little care package from Brian Ladmiraw, super fan, OG of the channel here. And Brian printed me a bunch of really cool stuff for the L.O.S 2.5, which is awesome. He printed me a bunch of number 3s or stylistic E's. I did that the wrong way, didn't I? 3. But for you guys, it's like that. Yeah. He printed me a bunch of number 3s. I'm going to then print a bunch of number 4s and a bunch of number 5s, and then I'm going to hang them up on the wall. And it'll say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not what these are. These are the guards for the L.O.S 2.5. And this is, I really like this design. Each one of these little holes is split. They're all split so that you don't have to take the frame apart to put the damn things on. You just push them. You just push them onto the standoffs. I'm not going to be able to do it now that you guys are watching, but there it is. You just push it onto the standoffs and they just lock in. It's actually really slick. It's a really slick solution to the problem of how do you quickly and easily pull these prop guards on and off. And I didn't get the middle one. The middle one's kind of hard to do. You need like a little flat-headed screwdriver. But there it is. Those go on, and they're set up to be half height so that you can run half a guard, which I also really, really like. That's a really, really clever way of giving you a little bit more adjustability in the speed that this thing travels. So, for example, if I need to go really slow, I'm going to put 2 of these on, and it's going to be fully guarded like that. Fully ducted, I guess you could say. But these are definitely not going to perform as ducts. So yeah, if I want to go ultra slow, I can put both of them on like this, and now we've got the most possible air blockage for making this thing as brick-like aerodynamically as possible, which will make it very slow. You know, this side would be very fast because you got lots of airflow going through. You would never want to run just one of these on one side. Also, if you want to deafen everyone in the area, these things are great. The difference in volume of your quad when you put these things on or take them off is kind of outrageous. But yeah, thank you, Brian, so much. This is great. So yeah, he set me up with a full set of these. He found a little Insta360 Go 2 mount as well and printed me one of these guys. For some reason, the designer of this mount did it kind of stupidly, so I'm hoping that that somebody is willing to change this mount up a little bit. I'm going to bug Eva this week to do it. For now, I don't really need this. I'm just going to like cut it down and burn a hole in this or something to. But they made it. There are a set of screw holes with press nuts in this top plate that are specifically for HD cam mounts, but for some reason the designer of this thing made it use the standoff holes that are behind those, and that's there's just no reason to do that. So I'm gonna hack the mount of this thing up a little bit and drill my own little holes to use these. But I'm hoping I can guilt someone into just adjusting this file. It'll basically just need to take these back corners off and just square this out and put a different set of holes there. So it shouldn't be too bad. Brian also made me a little antenna holder for the rear of this guy, which is kind of heavy. This camera holder here is almost 2 grams, and I am really trying to find every gram I possibly can on these things. So Eva actually agreed last night to modify the UFL antenna mount holder that I always show you guys on Thingiverse to make it work with M2 standoffs and to make it a little bit wider so that it'll work on the AOS 2.5. So that'll save me almost 2 grams, which will be great. But it'll also save me some space on the back. This antenna mount is just needlessly thick. I don't know why people that design antenna mounts keep doing this. Why do they make them these massive bricks of TPU? Like, make them as minimal as possible. It helps the antenna. When the mount is minimal, it'll flex. And so when you slam into shit, the antenna will flex instead of exploding. So yeah, this will absolutely get me by for this weekend. But a flimsier, lighter weight version of this mount is on the way, which will be cool. And then Brian made me a bunch of these AOS 3.5, the freestyle frame arm guards, which is really cool. I didn't know he was going to print these out. I wanted to get this thing done in time for this weekend's event, but it's just not going to happen, I don't think. Maybe there's a chance that I'll throw this build together this week. But yeah, this is a regular old AOS 3.5, and these are arm end protectors for it, which is really cool. Just, you guys know I love arm protectors, so I would run these on the front arms only because those are the ones you hit on the ground most often. This should be an interesting build. So this is an AOS 3.5 that I have flipped upside down. One of the interesting things about the AOS frame design is that you can do this. Like, you can build this thing upside down. Basically, the same set of holes is there on the top plate and the base plate for the arms. So this center section, the school bus section of this frame, is right now right side up. But the arms, instead of being bolted to the bottom, are now bolted to the top. And what that allows me to do on this build, and I don't actually know if I'm going to build it this way, but I was just kind of farting around with this as a concept. I can build it as a pusher, which might be more efficient, and put these prop guards on it like that. What initially I was thinking about that, I mean, it was just sort of a midnight thought, but what I was kind of thinking initially was, you're usually, when you're flying around people, you're usually like nose down, right? So if you have it set up like this, in theory, there's more stuff in the way between the sharp propeller and the subject. What I've realized about the cyclists is that it's the opposite. I'm never going to hit one of them head on. They're going to hit me. I'm going to be in a spot and they're not going to see me, and they're going to ride into me. So it's actually more important to protect them from the bottom. And with a box frame, that's easy, right? Because we've got all this down here. We've got all this protection. So if they come up and bump into it, they're fine. They're never going to get anywhere near the propeller. But for this build, it is different. So I think when I build this, I think I'm actually going to build it normally, right side up, because then the guard is here. If I'm nose down, you'd be looking at it. You guys would be the cyclist. If you come and bump into me, there's all this shit in the way between the propeller and you. So, yeah, I think I am going to build this thing not as a pusher. But I think it's really cool, and I don't think Chris did this on purpose, that you can do this. You can put your arms on the top or the bottom of an AOS 3.5. The only problem, the big problem is going to be your battery strap mounting. Like, imagine trying to... You could mount a battery strap to here, and there is a little bit of a pass-through in the middle in either direction for a battery strap. But yeah, that would be the main problem. When I was kind of thinking about that, when I was farting around with this, I was like, oh, screw it, I'll just hang the battery off the bottom. Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world. The prop line is going to be down here. So yeah, it'll suck to land it and stuff, but hey, kind of is what it is. But I'm going to build this right side up, thank you so much, Brian, for these arm ends. These will certainly come in handy. And all the other awesome stuff that you printed me, man. Very cool of you. What's next? Next up, we've got... Hold on. Over here. Next up, we've got a box from the one and only Joseph Freelove. Thank you, brother. He had a couple of these tattoo barrel plug goggle batteries just sitting around that he hadn't used forever. And he's like, yo, you want these? I saw you were using one at one point. And I was like, hell yeah, I love these things. They're just simple. They're 2,500 milliamps, which is not a lot. It's a 2S 2,500 milliamp. But these tends to last longer than the Fat Shark goggle batteries. And they're just, yeah, just having a bunch of these that are charged all the time is great. And then they've got a little battery checker built into them. So thank you, dude. Very cool of you to send these. They will absolutely get used. I have one of these already, and I've had it for years, and it's held up like beautifully. So, yeah, that is very cool. It's always nice to have a couple extra goggle batteries floating around. For some reason, goggle batteries are like the bastard children of, and they're like it feels like they're always not charged. Oh, rejected. All right, one more box here, and then we'll do a little sim time, and then we'll get the hell out of here. I can go take a crap. I've been fighting off a shit for this whole stream. I hope you guys appreciate it. Fighting off a shit. There's a sentence for you. Okay. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I wanted to move this last night. Let me do it now while you guys are watching. That's a good idea. You guys can't even see me at all, can you? Not even my big dumb head? Nope! Completely invisible. Alright, so... Oh, come on. I am actually doing it right now. Alright, it's already done. It's fine. There we go. L.O.S 2.5 shelf now exists. Bingo, bango, bongo, my friends. There we have it. Okay, this box is from Progressive RC, I think. Yep, Progressive RC. I did a little order with them when I realized that they had some T-Motor F40 Pro 4s in stock. So I did an order to snag a bunch of those, but while I was at it, I got a bunch of other stuff. I got some of these Flash 2540s. I was kind of running low on them, so I snagged a few sets of those. And then we've got... Let's go back there. And then I got a couple more. I had a couple 4S 850s fail on me, some of the GNBs. So I snagged a couple of these Tattoo R-Line version 1 4S 850s. They have a version 4 4S 850, but unfortunately it comes with big, massive, thick battery wires and an XT60. Yes, I could desolder the XT60 and solder on an XT30, but the battery wires are so thick that it would be a real pain in the ass. I really hate trying to put XT30s onto, like... So this is the right thickness here. This is... I want to say 16 gauge. Yeah, this is 16 gauge. 14 gauge wire to an XT30 sucks. 12 gauge is even worse. So yeah, I mean, these version 1s are fine. I've used these before. These will be great. So I'm back up to 8 4S 850s, which is great. Maybe 8, maybe 9. I got another tattoo. Oh, right. I got a Tattoo 4S 1300 as a big battery for the full-size TinyWhoop. My TinyWhoop that's on the FPV cycle 2104 3500 kV motors, the motors that Bob custom made the kV for me and us, and you guys bought a bunch of from him. yeah, that rig is it's just getting heavier and heavier as I keep putting bigger and bigger cameras on it, right? First it was the Hero 8, now it's the Hero 10. So with the weight gain, it just needs more battery to have longer run times. My favorite battery for it is the Tattoo R-Line 4S 1050, but they had this and it was not super expensive, and I was like, you know what, it would be cool to have an even bigger battery for that rig. In case I need an extra 30 seconds to a minute of runtime, probably closer to 30 seconds. But yeah, it's got plenty of power. Those 2104 motors make really good power on 4S at that KV with GemFan 5 blades. And Tattoo R-Line batteries are very lightweight. Like this is a really impressive battery in terms of weight. And it's not super expensive. It's not a $45 battery like all the Adrenaline stuff. 138 grams for a 4S 1300. That ain't bad. So yeah, this will be cool. I'm looking forward to trying this out on that rig and comparing it to the 1050s. I'm interested to see if I'll get an extra 30 seconds or an extra minute. It should be kind of cool. So yeah, there's that. We've got the best propeller packaging of all time from a prop company that's really not around anymore, unfortunately, called Racecraft. Yeah, this is an old school propeller company, and man, they've got it all figured out when it comes to marketing. They're, yeah, man, this is it. This is it. So the list of ingredients is a list of their sponsored pilots from back in the day. Or I don't know if they're all sponsored, but yeah. Whole bunch of OG pilots. And then they've got some nutritional facts that are just absolutely hysterical. 23 hard-ass G's. And then and there's the ingredients again. And then all the little jelly beans, well, some of the little jelly beans have the faces of a bunch of their team pilots. Just the best packaging ever. It's sad that they're no longer around. But hey, man, FPV's tough. I got a set of basically meme props, and they also always would give you a random sticker with the face of one of the team pilots on it, which is great because you of course tried to collect them all. This is such a meme prop, but they had it and I had to snag them. This is a 3-inch. My least favorite thing about Racecraft is on the packaging, they don't have any information about the specific prop. They just had 11 billion of these things made and they just dumped the props in there. It's kind of... I just noticed there's an asterisk on the bottom that says, product may contain trace amounts of female unicorn sperm. This is a... It says it on the hub. It's got the size and the pitch on the hub. This is a 3076. A 76 pitch 3-inch propeller. Look how steep the blade pitch is. Good God. I should have a set of these floating around. But yeah, this is just... It's nice to have really extreme propellers on either end, so that you have yeah, it's just nice to have. It's just nice to have extreme stuff on one side or the other, so that you can get to see, like, is this motor overpropped? I'll fucking throw so much propeller at it that it won't be able to be overpropped anymore. So yeah, kind of cool to have some nutty propellers floating around. A set of blue GemFan 2540s, which come in different packaging. 2 sets of those, actually. Same as the clear ones I showed you earlier. Here are my F40 Pro 4s that I'm just basically hoarding because they're no longer making this motor anymore, and that makes me sad. So yeah, I'm trying to hoard up as many as I can afford so that I can run them for as close to forever as possible. Luckily, I don't fly freestyle more than once a year anymore, so all my freestyle gear is all of a sudden invincible. These are pretty cool. This is a double XT60 to single. This I'm going to use to double up on batteries on the Cineglide here. Once I get the 7-inch arms for this from Ryan, I'm going to put a bottom battery strap on and a little bit of grip on the bottom here. I can run one 6S 1050 on the bottom, and then I'll run another one on top, and then I'll link them together with this little thing from Amazon. Plug them both in, and then run this thing up to the in on the ESC, and I'll have a 2100 mAh 6S battery without having to buy a bunch of 2100 mAh 6S batteries. Did I do that math right? Holy shit, I did, didn't I? That is kind of crazy. Who would have thunk I could do actual math? There's a starburst in here. That's fun. A red one. Little Speedy Bee adapter for the giveaways. And a couple other little things. A couple of these Emax 1S 300 mAh wide batteries for the Jungle Gym bashers. I just need to switch them over to BT 2.0. This is really as good as it gets for a Mobula 7 for a lightweight battery that has a really high C rating and just really delivers power. This is a GNB battery that Emax is making for them, and this cell, this 300 mAh cell outperforms in terms of power the 380 mAh yellow cells. So yeah, these are the ones you want for performance, and as an added bonus, they're nice and lightweight, which really helps with TinyWhoops. And then this, I think, is a Beta FPV. Yeah, this is for the giveaways as well. This is a Beta FPV ELRS module. They're really inexpensive. They sent me one way back when that has been completely indestructible. So yeah, this is, in my opinion, a great little giveaway thing because it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, and if you're not in ELRS, or if you're in the weird situation with ELRS that many of us are, where we've got some rigs that are SPI based that are stuck on 2.5, other rigs that are on 3.0, you can have a second module that you leave on 2.5, and then your main module is on 3.0, and you can kind of skirt that pain in the ass SPI problem. And that, my friends, is the end of mailbag for today's live stream. Now we're going to jump into the simulator and chase some drift cars, and then we will get up out of here so you guys can continue your Saturday. Okay. I gotta open these motors and sort them out, so let's put them there. All right, people, here we go. We are going to take the glide. We're going to continue. I'm going to pull the chat over here. And move this out of the way. Kevin Summers says, you should look at my antenna mounts. How can I see them? Where are they? Abraham says, about to put together a digital Fractal 75, Hdzero or Walksnail first. We'll eventually do one of each, but we'll likely only have time for one this week. I would say Walksnail first, to be honest. The Hdzero thing, I'm just not. Unless you're going to race. The Hdzero thing makes sense if you're going to race it, but if it's more for freestyle, it's all Walksnail, in my opinion. Right 9 says, oh, we got that. Okay, cool. All right. Our 12-year-old Azalea says to me yesterday, I don't like you when you cut your hair. You look like a different person. Makes me want to run away. I was like, oh, sweet. Drift track. And let's do freestyle. It would help if I would plug in a transmitter, wouldn't it? That's something that you kind of need to do. And away we shall go, chasing some draft cars. They want to go fast. They want to turn left. Let's turn with them. USB joystick. Oh, God. Okay, cool. So let's really quickly do a minute or two of 30-degree up tilt. Let's check it. That's FOV. There it is. Yeah, so this is 30-degree up tilt, and this is kind of the chasing that you're used to seeing. And so we'll start with this. Where's he at? Where are they at? Do I have to like add them or something? Hold on. Ah, there we go. There we go. Got him. There he is. There's the smoky boy. Let's get him. Oh boy, that was strange. There he is, little BRZ action. Let's get him. God damn, they're really like the one complaint that I have about this in Velocidrone is that they're really fast. Like and they don't really. Yeah, I wish they would slow these guys down a little bit because like Jesus Christ on a cracker, like you. Yeah. They typically don't bomb around quite this quick. But this is what 30-degree up tilt drift footage looks like. The up tilt allows you to drop down low and get like really nice low angle stuff without being all on top of them. As we go lower up tilt, things are going to change quite a bit. I also need to get kind of dialed in on the speed that this guy is doing here. Ooh boy, that was a close one. So if you want to, I'm gonna try to start incorporating like, Jesus Christ, he's just screaming. I'm gonna try to incorporate more freestyle in with my chase stuff because I mean, why not? We've seen regular chasing stuff quite a bit. I think the more freestyle chase stuff is kind of where it's at. And at 30 degrees, it's kind of tough to stay really on top and do freestyle stuff because like it's just with the up tilt, it works better to kind of like be behind them. And realistically, like that's what people want to see. Doing this more like freestyle, like Gavver kind of stuff around the drift cars. That's what we want to see as pilots. Viewers are gonna throw up, right? Like we know this. Like making, that's true. Making someone who doesn't fly FPV watch our freestyle footage, they pretty quickly want to throw up. Because they're just not, they haven't spent the time to get used to the amount of flips and rolls that we do. They're like, the general public is used to flat horizons because everything that they've ever watched on television or in the movie theater has had a gimbal, right? And like every once in a while they'll go handheld and go Dutch angle with the camera to like convey a like weird mood. But yeah, 99% of what they watch is gimbal stabilized flat horizon stuff. So when we start losing the horizon, most viewers are just like, yo, turn this shit off. This is ridiculous. That would have hurt. Yeah, kind of can't deal with it. But for the funsies, we are going to play around. Let me give you guys a stick overlay. Forgot to do that. We are going to play around, and I'm interested to see the difference for myself. I don't fly very well at low up tilt, but we're going to try, goddammit. So we're going to come all the way down to 0 degrees because making this as extreme as possible, I think, is the jam right off the rip here. So let's see how this goes. My God, it feels weird. I'm just staring at the ground. Okay, so... Oh, boy. Oh, wow. Jesus, it's so weird. It's so weird. All right, hold on. So I basically have to stay on top of him. Like, I need to be on top of this car. I don't think Gavver flies 0. I think he flies, like, 10? Don't quote me on that. But he flies very low up tilt. One of the cool things about really low up tilt is... You can come up... I gotta generate the momentum for it. Man, it's hard to do this. You can come up... and you can do a lot of that kind of stuff. You can really work flying backwards. So you're just gonna generate a bunch of momentum, and then the lack of up tilt... 0 is too low. I can confidently say that 0 is too low. Although I'm not used to it. You can't see where you're going. At all. Like, you're only framing the car. Which is kind of cool, and I mean, that's really what Gavver's doing. But it feels, like, kind of unsafe, to be honest. And, like, when he runs away like that, I can't keep him in frame. If he gaps me, I need to... Oh, man, is that cool, though. When he gaps me, I just need to stare... Like, look at that. Look at how hard it is to stay with him. But then once I catch him, it allows me to really spend time up in front of him. I don't have to always be behind him. This is a whole different thing, man. It really lets you play. I would love to put like 10, 15 hours into this. I think there's a thing coming. Yep, there it is. You really have to know the racetrack. You really have to know if there's any things that you need to fly under. It doesn't help that I don't fly low camera angle all that often. But, oh boy. Very different look, and a pretty cool look, to be honest. I'm currently leaning in my chair, because I'm working so hard at this. This is the problem here. This is the problem when they start cooking. Oh, I got inside him. Come on, come on, come on. Let me turn the power up on this quad a little bit. It might... oh, Spander is in here and he can't see the car. So I guess... Riot's idea for 1 car works, but 3 isn't working. Typically fly with 30 degrees. The Spander says, is there no slower track? There's not. Let's go to change quad settings, and we're just going to add a bunch of power. We'll add some weight, too. Weirdly, that'll help. So let's go up to a more pitchy propeller. So we're going to go to a 5150, and then we're going to crank the propeller power up. And that's going to help us keep up with this very fast drift car. Where's he at? There he is. Well, if you guys can't see the cars, I might as well set 3 of the bastards out here. There we go. All right. So now there's 3 of them to chase. This will be even more chaotic. Here we go. Oh boy, it's still hard to do this. More power did not make this any easier. Hold on, I'm gonna have to really. I'm not gonna be able to talk over this. Let me give you guys a little bit of music. I need to focus to be able to do this properly. This is really difficult. All right, here we go. Why is desktop audio not working? Oh, here we go. Here we go. 10 is much better. Yo, we were in it for a minute there. That was hot. Oh my god. A couple of those big throws and the big barrel rolls. I came right off the A86 and dropped down on the Evo. That was fucking sick. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, so 20 is much more realistic. 10 is zero doesn't work. 10 works, but 10 is so different than what I'm used to that it's really, really hard. 20 feels much more realistic. Let me do this, and I'll try to talk over this a little bit. A little too loud though. Hold on. Just drop this down a little bit. What are you guys doing? Wait. All right, so let me talk over this a little bit. Oh God! Who put that tree trunk there? Alright, where are they at? Where are the Smoky boys at? There they are. Where's Smoky Nagata at? Oh! 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 Here we go! We got the fucking Europop-ish music. Perfect. Oh God! So this is at 20 degrees up tilt. What you can't do at this up tilt is fly backwards nearly as well as 0 or 10 without losing all your momentum. So that's what you sacrifice. But trying to keep up with them down here, much simpler. Much more realistic with 20 degrees up. Damn it. Who put that sign there? Let's get in here. Fuck yeah, now we're talking. Get down. When I have to get down under those, in order to keep them framed, to get under these... Oh boy, I got run over. To get under those underpasses, it's really, really difficult. I can't really accelerate. I just have to kind of wait patiently. Where are they at? There they are. Whoa, boy! Oh, that was stupid. Alright, come on now. Let's get up in here. This should be a thing coming. Yep. Oh! There it was. Ah! That was sloppy as hell. I was going for something big, though. Where'd they go? They are. Fuck yeah, come on. Stay in them. Ah, damn it! Ooh, get me, let me get away with it. Oh, shit! Get under there. Oh, that was hot! Oh my god, that was sexy as fuck! Ah, there's a thing there. Ugh. Can you guys see me leaning around? You have to cut, like, I have to get myself out of, like, cinematic, like, ooh, deliver, like, a good shot that shows both of them in their angle, and just force myself to just, like, go, 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 go. Oh, boy. Watch this. Oh, it got all fucking choppy. Whoa, shit! Wow, I'm shocked at the difference 10 degrees makes. Like, at 20 degrees, this is so different than 30 degrees, it's kind of insane. I'm gonna go back down to 10 in a second. Yeah, it's just like you're just constantly on it. It's just constant, like, go, 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 make a correction, make it, like, and you can't cover anything up. You have to fly like steel. You have to just constantly be moving the sticks around, making constant corrections. You can't do that, like, you know, leave the sticks where they are and try to hide the mistake. Like, you have to just, okay, I made a mistake. I'm gonna just have another correction coming a quarter of a second from now. Because they're, yeah, I mean, you just have to stay on top of them. So you don't get like this, you don't get, it's just not smooth at all. It's just constant chaos. Not cinematic at all. You have to throw everything cinematic out the window, to be honest. Let's go back down to 10. Oh, give it to me. Give me a good song, Epidemic Sounds. Come on, I dare you. This song's alright. 10 degrees, yo. Woo! Shit! Get under. Ah, god damn it. See, that's the problem. That's the problem with low up tilt. You can't keep the car framed and drive forward fast to get under those things. You just have to wait it out and slide under them. Now we're talking. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Stay in there. Come on. Overpass coming. It's easier to go over the overpasses at this low up tilt. Or go under them sideways like that with a ton of roll on. Ah! I forgot about that overpass. Shit. Or walkover, whatever the hell it's called. This is maximum effort. This is me working as hard as I can as a pilot. This is, like, wild. The amount of focus and concentration to stay on these guys. Ah, fuck. As he slams into the ground. Woo! Shit! Stay low. God, stay under the thing. Another thing coming! Ooh! Not gonna lie, I got lucky on that one. Jesus Christ, this is fun. Get him, get him, get him. Oh! Look at that. Look how much angle you gotta keep on to keep up with these guys. That's what I'm saying, they're a little fast. Wow. Been wanting to do this for a while. Ah! I was trying to get in between the lights and the railing. Oh god! Alright, another couple minutes, and then we're gonna shut this shit down. Come on over here, 8086. Let's dance, bitch. Oh, God. I'm trying to get up in front of him. That's what 10 degrees is going to do well. It's going to get footage of the front of the car really well. There we go, there we go. There's something. That's one of the hottest things about Gavver's footage is that, like, front 3/4. He just sits it up on the front 3/4 like that, up here. It's really impressive. God damn it, I tried to get my elevation down to get under that. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I was trying, man. God damn, I was trying. Oh, shit. Ah, damn. Man, 10 degrees is just really difficult. Oh, shit. Get low! God! It's hard to get under those things. Really hard. Where are they at? Where'd they go? There they are. Go, go, go! Stop running away from me! I love that the brake rotors get hot. That's such a nice little touch. Oh! Oh, there we go. Oh, got it, motherfucker! Ah, damn. Fuck you. Come back in the frame. Yeah, buddy. Oh. Oh, dig, 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 dig. Get under, get under, get under. Oh! Yes! Oh, how you like that fucking camera move right there? Big full throttle blast. I hit that. I was able to like hide to get up over him like that. Ah, man, it is hard to do anything with him out here. Woo. He really Scandy flicked to initiate that one. Kind of caught me off guard. Ah, whoo, boy. Okay, that's that's about all I got. Jesus. That's next level, man. That is tough. That is tough to do. Try that. Try that for sure. Drop the up tilt down. Let me move the up tilt back up so I'm not all confused next time I I do a sim session and I'm like, why is this shit flying so weird? Definitely try that. Try that at 0. Try that at 0 camera angle for a while. Give it some time. It's super interesting at 0, and it'll really drive into your head the like what up tilt is doing for you, like what it does well and what it does not so well. That's a really cool little exercise in in like what you're doing with the thrust. Something that I talk about in my Fiverr sessions a lot. Like what, you know, the term for it is thrust vector, but that's kind of what are you doing with your thrust? Where is it going? Is it going rearwards? Is it going forwards? Like at 30 degrees up tilt, when you flatten out to try to do that backwards stuff, you're looking up at the sky. So you're never really going to flatten all the way out at 30 degrees up tilt. You're always going to be like this, sliding backwards. And so the thrust is working against you the whole time. When you're at 0 camera angle, I can throw it up in front of the car, slam it flat, and it'll keep all that momentum, and he'll catch me eventually. But if I do it on the way into a corner, actually, even with 10 degree up tilt, right? Like with 10 degrees of up tilt, if I can throw it up over him into a corner, right? Car's here, throw it up over him, keep him in frame, rotate it around, and then slam down flat on the ground, I can take all that momentum, and even with a little bit of up tilt, as he's slowing down, when he initiates and starts scrubbing speed, you can just stick with him that entire time. The problem then is you have to put some roll on here to kind of, and he's going to pass you, but then if you do it right, you can pick him back up. If we do this again, I want to try to do some more of that. I was starting to kind of figure that out. That was one of the last times I was screaming there. That's exactly what I did. I came up on him and I just hammered the throttle and generated a whole bunch of thrust and was able to then use it on the decel as he came down. Even though I had 20 degrees, I'd still generated enough forward momentum to then flatten the camera out, right? Flatten the camera like this and have the rig slow down with them in that in the braking zone. That's a very, very, very different style of chasing drift cars. You know, to do that, I'm doing all of these things that it's like don't make constant corrections, don't jerk the camera around, and so yeah, a lot of that was me just mentally being like no, go. Danzilla Terrible's in the house. Danzilla Terrible says a yellow lens hood is just a bad idea. Yeah, it's just for testing. Abraham says, nope, we got that. Kevin Sumner says, dropped a picture of a couple of mine in Discord live stream live. Need to post them on Thingiverse. Where's Discord at? Hey guys, this is my full-time job. If you're new around here, head on over to CiottiFPV.com and there's lots of fun stuff happening. Weebly put up a clip of me realizing that The mic wasn't working earlier. Live stream live. There we go. And oh, very cool, Kevin. The base of that mount is very similar to the mounts that I really like from Ripsqueak, or from the Ripsqueak. This and then this. Although this is super interesting, having it come up here and then cup the bottom of the antenna. That's pretty cool. It's tough to get this length right? Like you gotta do the build, and then you gotta see how close the VTX is to the rear standoffs and figure out how much antenna length you're gonna have. I always like to try to get the head of the antenna up as high as humanly possible. And every build it's different, because every build the VTX sits a different amount of space from this. But this is really, really cool. Cupping the bottom of the antenna is a really good idea, because there's a failure point between the wire and the base of the antenna. Not very often does it fail there, and I usually strengthen that up with a little bit of welder, E6000. But yeah, this kind of fixes that problem, which is slick. And then putting a piece of shrimp wrap over top of the head of the antenna up over the base of the TPU, that's really slick too. That's a nice design. That's very cool. Where did chat go? There it is. Spender says there's no slower track. There's not. There's just this one track. Ugelin says, what camera angle do you typically fly with? 30 degrees on everything except for the TinyWhoops. TinyWhoops, I just push it down. It's kind of as low as it'll go. Rockcrawler says, my name on the players list says I'm a spectator and not a friend. Any idea why? I'm flying and I see all of you and the cars. Nice. I have no idea why. Velocidrone does weird stuff. But OMFPV says, how do you find this room in Velocidrone? It's in America region, and it's just under CiottiFPV. Sorry, I'm only seeing this now. It looks like chat hooked you up, though. Riot9 says, it's in America, named CiottiFPV, my cars are going missing. It's weird that some of you guys can see the other cars, some of you guys can't. It's super annoying. I have no idea why. Espander says, I always fly about 13 degrees angle, and man, this was fun. Very cool. Espander says, I don't think Lipo would survive that in real life. Yeah, so that's that's one of the funny things that I don't know if you guys could hear. I had my stick overlay on the screen. You, like, on that track with those cars going as fast as they're going, you're just like 80% throttle the entire time. And I know that about Gaver's flying too. I know that he is just buried in the throttle all the time, and he flies a fairly high-powered rig. So to do that style of flying, like, oh boy, you have to be like in the throttle all the time. It's nuts. It is battery slaying for sure. Espander with a 5-pound super chat. He says, that was fun. More Sim Sundays, please. Deal. That was very fun. Kevin Sumner says, length is easily adjustable. That's the medium length I run. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, when you put that up on Thingiverse, my suggestion would be to have like 5mm versions that are like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 in terms of the length. And then Kevin Sumner also dropping the CiottiFPV.com link. Thank you, dude. Yeah, this is my full-time job, guys. I need your support. I rely 100% on you beautiful people. This way, I'm not relying on some company to support me, and then they send me a product, and I feel bad about trashing on it, so I don't trash on it, and then you buy it, and it sucks. You guys funding me 100% allows me to be completely honest all the time and to tell anybody that doesn't like my bad review of their product to go to hell. So you guys get more honest reviews that way, and that's what matters, because you want to buy the best stuff, right? So head on over to CiottiFPV.com. There's a million ways that you can support me. I will be back tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, and tomorrow night is a giveaway stream. So if you ever needed a reason to join Patreon to support me and get all kinds of extra stuff, you will get in on giveaways by joining the Patreon. So $5 a month tier is going to enter you tomorrow night to win some toothpick and or TinyWhoop parts. The $10 a month tier is going to enter you to win 3-inch micro brushless and CineWhoop parts. The $20 a month tier will enter you to win 5-inch parts. Or the $30 and up tiers are going to put you into all 3 of those giveaways. This way, if you only fly CineWhoops, you can only enter to win that stuff. But if you fly everything, you can enter to win all of the things and support the hell out of me. The $30 a month tier is $1 a day. That is incredibly generous. you're going to be entered into a whole bunch of giveaways, and you're just going to be one of the people that, you know, I notice and am like incredibly grateful for, and every once in a while I'll send you random stickers probably, and every once in a while I shift the opening screen up. Typically the $30 tier is not quite high. I don't want a huge list of people on the intro screen, and there are some like crazy generous people. But yeah, you're getting to the point where your name will get shown on the beginning and end of every single live stream. So yeah, greatly appreciated. I love you guys so much. A bunch of affiliate links over on CiottiFPV.com as well. Hook a brother up, do something. Click thumbs up, leave a comment if you're not watching this live. Do a little something, and we'll keep doing this together forever, baby. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Here's some more. Here's some analog flying from the little drift cars. This is man, flying analog with these little lightweight rigs around these drift cars. I can really get into it. It's incredible. I left the OSD on like a jackass. But here was the last battery that I flew there, so I was like kind of the most warmed up. So this should be kind of the best of this last Thursday's day of flying. I need to kill this audio though before it kills me. All right, friends, I love you. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Hopefully this song doesn't suck. See you tomorrow night.